get your podcasts.
Orangutans. They're beautiful, playful, and majestic, and disappearing. Every day, as many as 20 orangutans vanish. They starve to death when their homes are destroyed or are killed when they stray into villages in search of food. International Animal Rescue is fighting for the survival of the critically endangered orangutan. But we can't do it without you. Please visit internationalanimalrescue.org and help us save orangutans before it's too late. That's internationalanimalrescue.org.
Better sleep gives you the energy you need to spend more time doing the things you love. Your sleep equipment helps you manage your sleep disorder and live a more active life, but it only works if you use it. Sleep equipment manufacturers recommend daily cleaning, and SoClean is a helpful complement to your daily routine. Join over 2 million SoClean customers enjoying peace of mind. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Find out more at SoClean.com. Always follow the manufacturer's instruction. Prepayment required for risk-free trial. For contraindications and details, visit SoClean.com.
This Saturday, iHeartRadio is proud to partner with the 2022 Global Citizen Festival, celebrating the worldwide movement of people taking action now to save our planet and end poverty. With live performances from Metallica, Charlie Puth, Jonas Brothers, Måneskin, Mariah Carey, Mickey Guyton, Rosalia, Usher, SZA, and more. Coming to you live from New York City and Accra, Ghana, this Saturday, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. Listen exclusively on the Global Citizen channel with the free iHeartRadio app.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A mega deal for Avalanche star Nathan MacKinnon. He re-signed with the defending Stanley Cup champions. The new 8-year, nearly $101 million extension will make MacKinnon, a former #1 overall pick, the highest paid player in the NHL. Jalen Hurts showed a national audience why he's the Eagles franchise quarterback. He threw for 333 yards, ran for 57 more, accounted for 3 total touchdowns in the 17-point win over the Vikings on Monday Night Football. And big things could be in store for Hurts and the Eagles this season, says our Keyshawn Johnson.
You look at where they're at in their schedule, they've got a cakewalk into the bye. And even after the bye, they got the Commanders, the Jaguars, the Cardinals, the Cowboys, a bye, the Steelers, and the Texans.
All right.
Come on now.
Listen.
Their schedule is set up for them to have the #1 seed in the NFC.
Keyshawn of Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Bills starting quarterback Dane Jackson, who took a scary hit from a teammate in last night's win over the Titans, has been released from the hospital. Tests revealed no major injury to his neck or spinal cord. He is undergoing further evaluation today.
Brought to you by Capital One Auto Navigator, where you can find a car, get pre-qualified instantly, and see your real monthly payment without impacting your credit score. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/Auto Navigator.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. All you got to do to get in touch with us each and every day in real time, we will respond. It's through the YouTube channel. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link, subscribe to the channel to get yourself into the chat, and that way you can also get all those live alerts whenever we are on in the Ingles studio. We're always brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Check them out at 629 Brevard Road. Don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the Sportsocracy. And
they will give you $250 extra on your trade because they're our friends, you're our friends, and we want you two to be friends. Fred Anderson Nissan, 629 Brevard Road. Tell them the two fat guys that talk about sports sent you.
You know what today is? It's a Tuesday, and that means it's Power Rankings Day here in the Sportsocracy. We will be giving you all of the ins and outs of why who's at the bottom is at the bottom and why it's clear there's one team at the top.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we saw them last night. I really hate to break this to the fans of 31 NFL teams, but nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, just dispatched of the LA Rams in week 1, and then so Super Bowl champs, And then last night, the reigning number 1 seed for the AFC playoffs just got dusted by the Buffalo Bills, the Tennessee Titans, falling 41-7.
Ugh.
Good.
And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It was worse than that. It was actually worse than that.
I mean, it was an absolute show of domination by the Buffalo Bills. And the Tennessee Titans just could not get anything going against that defense.
The Buffalo Bills in 2 games against the reigning Super Bowl champions and the reigning 1 seed in the AFC have allowed 3 red zone trips.
Mm-hmm.
Total. They have beaten those 2 combined 72-17. If something doesn't happen to that team, and I'm talking somebody's going to have to disappear. We never try to predict injuries or anything like that. If something does not happen, you're not going to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best team I've ever seen. I thought that before the year because there is so much depth in the front 4. The one weakness is the secondary, and last night, not even kind of a problem because they're sending so much pressure at you, you can't get set. And offensively, they just toy with you. I watched a little of the All-22 this morning. So obviously I watched the game live. The entire time I'm watching Josh Allen run this RPO. All right, so he's running the RPO over and over again. He's picking on Roger McCreary, the rookie out of Auburn, because he's playing so far off of Stephon Diggs that all he has to do is run a 5-yard out, 8 easy yards every time you run it. I told HWA, you mark my words, this is getting ready to happen. They're going to bait him into biting on that out, and when they do, Stephon Diggs will be dancing in the end zone. That had no more come out of my mouth than it happened. And how do you defend that?
So hit us up in the comments on the YouTube stream. Is this an overreaction? Because I don't know. I'm asking for your help because I don't know. When he said it to me earlier today, I went, this is not the best. Maybe.
It's the best team I've ever seen in the NFL.
Might just be. It might just be. Now, do the other teams that they faced have problems? Sure. They got a lot of problems.
Tennessee has a lot of problems. We'll talk about them in the next segment.
Tennessee's got problems. LA's got problems. But the Buffalo Bills look to be every bit of the Super Bowl favorite. Like, I'm trying not to go out on the limb and say I don't know that this team loses a game.
I don't think they do. I'll go ahead and tell you, they play the Miami Dolphins this week. If they're going to lose, it's in the next 4 weeks. Because here's how I think this is going to go. You go at the Dolphins, at the Ravens, against the Steelers, at the Chiefs, and then you go into the bye week. That's 3 games on the road against, I would say, 3 of the 6 or 7 best teams in the AFC. I preliminarily set the line on all of these. How many of them do you think I set within a field goal?
3.
It's Kansas City. It's Kansas City. That's the only team in the NFL that I do not think on their own home field is more than a field goal dog to the Bills.
Okay.
That's how good they are. Through 2 games, you haven't been able to run really at all. Their leading rusher right now has 67 yards. And that's with 2 games that you've been trying to melt away the clock in the 4th quarter.
James Cook.
Devin Singletary.
Really?
I mean, in fairness, you got Singletary at 67, Josh Allen at 66, and James Cook at 55. So, last night you don't have your deep threat. That's what Gabriel Davis does. He gives you the guy that scares you over the top, so you cannot put that safety over top Stephon Diggs. How do you respond? He had the best game of his career. Knowing full well that that's where you're going. It didn't matter.
Right.
And you just look at it through 2 games, Josh Allen's completing 75% of his passes. You cannot beat this team this way. You can't. As soon as they make you one-dimensional, you're done. And last night, the one dimension that Tennessee wanted, we want to run Derrick Henry.
Sorry.
It was pitiful.
Yeah, sorry, we're not going to let you do that.
They made Derrick Henry look decrepit.
Mm-hmm. And I was shocked that they were able to do it without Tim Settle. Like, Tim Settle didn't play.
Ed Oliver
didn't play. And still, they were able to put together a dominating performance. Defensively speaking.
In our YouTube comments, No Smile said a prisoner of the moment. It can't be a prisoner of the moment for me because I started saying this in about May.
Mm-hmm.
Of the way this team is laid out.
Yeah, but it's also you want them to be good. They look good on paper. You believe in them. It's been 2 weeks. Maybe we need to slow down with the whole best team ever thing.
Do you know how hard it is to blow out a team in the NFL?
Oh yeah.
Through 2 weeks, how many games have we seen that were 3 touchdown margins?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the answer to that?
No.
I believe it's 3. I saw this stat earlier. It's either 3 or 4, and Buffalo's accounted for 2 of them.
Yeah. I get it. It looks fantastic. But I agree with also those in the comments who are saying, like, your cousin, not really your cousin, Colin Greene. Jeremy, you're setting yourself up to be very sad in January when they lose in the AFC Championship.
I'm not handing them a ring. I'm saying something's going to have to happen. If this team stays healthy, which is obviously a big ask in the NFL,
mm-hmm.
Josh Allen is running more than I want him to. I do not like seeing him take this many hits. But you got to understand, you can't run. You haven't been healthy, and it hasn't even kind of mattered.
Mm-mm.
The offensive line is light years ahead of where it was last year with the addition of Roger Saffold. They toyed with Tennessee. You don't see that very often in the NFL, where I literally watched Ken Dorsey pick on one player. Josh Allen could have snapped the ball, and right before he said, "Hut," he could have gone, "Hey, Roger McCreary, I'm coming right at you." And there is nothing you can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Because if you move, I'm going to hand it off. The handoff doesn't work that well. But when you collapse down on that, I'll keep it, and there's that 8 yards I was looking for. I stay constantly in front of the chains. And defensively, they don't have a corner that anybody is scared of. And you still can't throw on them.
Mm-hmm.
Still can't throw on them.
And how's that going to work when Tre'Davious White comes back?
It gets better. It gets better because now you have you have a receiver. And, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Could they lose to a team like, I don't see Miami. I got the 2 best safeties in the league. I got the best safety combination in the league. You're not going to be able to do to us what you did to the Baltimore Ravens. Kansas City. Somebody gets hot for Kansas City. Mahomes manipulating the eyes, and sure, that could happen. But what I'm saying is our Canada and friend armchair commentary in the show we did this morning, fantasy football is a game of mitigating risk. Well, doing what we do is mitigating making yourself sound really stupid. And over the course of time, I've done it a few times.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those times that I will go out on the limb and say that is the best team I have ever seen.
And I will just say I can't. I have nothing to say to that because they do look amazing. Like I said, if this is it for the Miami Dolphins, and I know this is way too early talk, but if this is it, this is the team that's going to do it.
Miami?
No.
Oh.
This is the team that's
going to
go
break the
72. Yeah, they're going to break the 72 record.
I don't physically know that a team
18.
can do that. I think at this point, especially with the way the schedule lays out, I mean, because you got to think. All right, so let's say this Buffalo team's as good as we believe they are. You're going to come down towards the end of the season with games against the Dolphins, Bears, Bengals, and Patriots with nothing to play for.
Mm-hmm.
The AFC is so daunting that if you're 13-0, you could have the 1 seed in the AFC locked up with 4 games to go. You think you're trotting Josh Allen out there to get hit? Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, probably not.
As soon as that 1 seed's locked up, I have nothing else to play for.
I got Case Keenum coming
Case Keenum time. Come on, Case.
Come on. Bring it on, Case Keenum. We'll sit Stephon Diggs, too. I mean, if they're as good as you say they are, maybe they could beat those teams with just Gabriel Davis and Jamison Crowder. And see, that's the thing is, like, I believe this team is going to get better.
That's the insane. They're so deep.
Right.
Because they built a roster. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that listen to this show, especially on the terrestrial signal as opposed to through the YouTube channel. Why do you worry about the draft so much? The Buffalo Bills are the definition of why. What have they done year over year over year? And I heard Dan Orlovsky say this last night. You get to the point in the fourth quarter where the backups are playing. I've taken out the Greg Russos and the Von Millers and the Josh Allens. And who do you have playing? Oh, Boogie Basham. Yeah, he was a first-round prospect. You got him later than that. A.J. Epinesa, same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
And you go down the roster and just go, okay, who is the one guy outside of Josh Allen, outside of Stephon Diggs? Who's the one guy that goes down and you go, oh, no, what are we going to do now? Conversely, look at that Tennessee team. If Derrick Henry wasn't on that team, which basically last night he wasn't, you're one of the 5 worst teams in the NFL, and it's not even debatable. It's not even debatable. They're the one team I look at and go, you're not beholden to any one player. Obviously, you would regress greatly with no Josh Allen, no Stephon Diggs.
Right.
You're still a playoff team.
Maybe.
I could care less. I could care less.
Care less about a safety.
Do they play offense? Does that do anything to Josh Allen just toying with you? No.
Yeah.
I mean, does it hurt? Obviously. I'm not saying it doesn't. The Buffalo Bills have done an unbelievable job of mitigating risk. And here's the scariest part of it. The guy calling their plays has done this 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
You think he's going to get a little better as time goes on? Brian Daboll did. And I think Ken Dorsey will too.
Yeah. And I think as the season goes on, the team itself is going to get better. The rookies that are on this team will get better. They'll be able to figure out how to run the ball. What are you going to do to stop them?
What you gonna do when the Buffalo Bills run wild on you?
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Better sleep gives you the energy you need to spend more time doing the things you love. Your sleep equipment helps you manage your sleep disorder and live a more active life, but it only works if you use it. Sleep equipment manufacturers recommend daily cleaning, and SoClean is a helpful complement to your daily routine. Join over 2 million SoClean customers enjoying peace of mind. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Find out more at SoClean.com. Always follow the manufacturer's instruction. Prepayment required for risk-free trial. For contraindications and details, visit SoClean.com.
Tired of living with chronic joint pain from arthritis or injury? Stop with the steroids and pain meds and don't have surgery until you check out regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics.
These therapies can help the body have long-term relief of your pain.
Meet Dr. Justin Garzone, Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
We use your body's own healing properties, highly concentrate them, and then use that to restore and repair the damaged tissues in your joints.
This is a cutting-edge natural solution from local medical professionals.
We have a team of medical assistants, physician assistants, nurse practitioners, and physicians that are trained specifically just to do regenerative medicine.
And Dr. Garzone speaks from personal experience. Before joining the QC Kinetics team, he was an actual patient.
I am now pain-free.
You too can get lasting relief from joint pain. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Asheville Pizza and Brewing is so happy to announce the return of the $3 movie theater. We've added a second screen to our Merriman Avenue location. Soon you'll be able to catch family favorites, cult classics, and second-run films for only $3, just like the good old days. Visit the main screen for current movies and don't forget about Trivia Night on Wednesdays. Visit AshevilleBrewing.com for info and schedules, or stop by on Merriman Ave. That's AshevilleBrewing.com.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene, and we are head over heels for this Buffalo Bills team.
And now, conversely, they did play a team last night.
They did.
And there's a lot of gnashing of teeth with Tennessee Titans fans.
Well, I mean, there should be. You showed up on Monday Night Football and couldn't do the one thing that you were supposed to do.
Yeah, because Buffalo knew that. Now, I really want you to take an introspective look at Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
They play the Raiders this week. You go Colts, Commanders, Colts again, and the Texans. You do realize there's a no worse than 20% shot that this team's 5-2 7 weeks from now.
Yes.
And I am going to say this as adamantly as I can. If you're one of the people that is screaming, oh, it's time to turn to Malik Willis, stop doing that.
Yeah, don't do that.
You think Ryan Tannehill is infuriating? Wait till you have a quarterback that can only read one receiver and take off. He had a fumble last night. Do you know who caused it?
Who?
His own player, because he ran into the back of him. I've heard this all day long just going, did we forget that every team in the league passed on this guy twice? Except the Rams, who don't care about draft picks.
Right.
Just calm down, okay? You're bad special teams away from being 1-1 and having got eviscerated by the Buffalo Bills. I hate to tell you, the Buffalo Bills are going to do that to a lot of people.
I can't wrap my head around people who are on that track right now. Like, what makes you think Malik Willis will come in and do any better with the lack of weapons that this team has?
I'll go ahead and tell you, he would 100% be markedly worse. Malik Willis in a half, you would go, well, that's a wasted draft pick because he is horribly bad.
I don't know all about that. I mean, he can
do what? He can run.
He's mobile.
He is very fast. And I'm sure he is a great kid, and in time, he might be a player in the NFL. Ryan Tannehill is not your problem.
His decision making is not going to be great out of the gate, but I mean he could be a okay quarterback in the league.
You wouldn't win a game.
Not a game.
You remember what I said about Justin Fields? Multiply that by 5, and you have Malik Willis.
Wow. Okay.
Justin Fields at least could get from receiver A to receiver B. Now, it was usually clunky, and it took, I don't know, you would count it in calendar days, but he could do it. Malik Willis cannot do that.
So Malik Willis.
Now, you can learn.
Yeah.
But you chuck him out there right now, you think last night was bad? That will be the least of your concern.
Mm-hmm.
Because with that receiving core, Malik Willis would be, I'm talking, would challenge Jameis Winston 30 interceptions in a season.
The Titans fans had to know. You had to know that the offense was going to have games like this. Because you can only do one thing.
You have no receivers. When you traded A.J. Brown, I understand Treylon Burks. Long term, I understand it. The problem is this is a team that had a short window because you got a aging quarterback.
Mm-hmm. You got an aging running back.
Who's aging by the day with the wear and tear on a very large body.
Mm-hmm.
And you went and got a receiver that's a year away from being a year away. He's very good with the ball in his hands. He can't run a route. He can't separate. And so you throw Ryan Tannehill back there. Taylor Lewan gets hurt. Now you have two young, I believe they're both rookies. I know Petit Frere is.
Mm-hmm.
And you're throwing Ryan Tannehill behind that against the best defensive line in the league. And you thought this was going to go any other way. As soon as Taylor Lewan went down, I went, this is going to get ugly in just a real big hurry. And it did.
But, again, you have to understand the frustration. Of course you're going to be upset. You just went on national television and got embarrassed. And it makes you look worse than you actually are.
And here's the silver lining in that. You're in the worst division in the NFL, and it's not all that close.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk about the Indianapolis Colts when we come up in the power rankings.
The number
today.
next to their name is rather high.
Wow. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a team fall that far. I mean, they were in top 10 territory preseason.
They never got into the top 10 for me. They were just on the outside.
Right. And then in 2 weeks, they are, Ryan McGee, bottom 10.
Wile E. Coyote has not taken a fall off a cliff like the Indianapolis Colts.
Right. But I will say this, Tennessee Titans fans, you knew you had questions on the defense anyway. So, I get being
losing Harold Landry hurt, but the secondary is really young.
Right. So, you knew you were going to be taken advantage of in that respect anyway. You're going to be fine.
Oh, yeah. You want me to tell you how you get real healthy in the NFL? See the Houston Texans a couple times. They have 4 completions that traveled more than 10 yards in the air in 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to be just fine.
Right. Did you see anything that made you hopeful for Tennessee moving forward? Was there anything that, like, you're playing coach, what are we gleaning from last night's performance?
Not many teams can make Derrick Henry look like that. You have to have outrageous depth in the front 4 to make him change direction like that. Not a lot of teams can do that. And if you look at their schedule, there's very few of them on their schedule. This is the low point for the Tennessee Titans for the year.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt in my mind. And if you forced me to pick who's going to win the AFC South right now, I had to. I'd still take Tennessee, and I wouldn't think about it all that hard. I think Jacksonville's more talented.
I was going to say they'll be pushed by the Jaguars.
Jacksonville's more talented, but and look, I'm not trying to rain on the Jaguars. You're going to like the number next to your name. Just power rankings start in the next hour. That's still a young team.
Mm-hmm.
That's a young team that's going to do some very dumb things. The Tennessee Titans are a very vet team that is going to win games that they're not supposed to. And Indianapolis is in the Bermuda Triangle, or they've all been very intoxicated for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I really don't know. Just calm down.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. There was another Monday night game last night. Philadelphia Eagles. Man, Kirk Cousins sucks in prime time. We'll get into it. Up next, plus get just a bit outside.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, warm afternoons, comfortable cool nights. That's the recipe through the end of the work week. And then some rain showers showing up early next week in our forecast. Should be precip free here in Asheville right on through the weekend. 57 our low in the valley tonight. Sunshine Wednesday, warm. High 88 degrees. Not too far off of records for Wednesday. Then mid-80s on Thursday for the first day of fall. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Your burrito prayers have been answered. Taco Bell's double steak grilled cheese burrito is back with that juicy steak smothered in nacho cheese with a 3-cheese blend that's grilled on top. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. Hours and participation vary. Double the steak claim as compared to the steak quesadilla.
The Honest Truly Calming Collection is our must-have for Hazy's nighttime routine. The tear-free shampoo body wash and moisturizing conditioner help make bath time easy. The Truly Calming face and body lotion nourishes his delicate skin throughout the night. Honest overnight diapers keep leaks on lock for up to 12 hours, so we can both get a good night's sleep. For sweet dreams, end your kiddo's day with the Honest Truly Calming Collection.
You spend the first hour of your vacation at the luggage carousel thinking there's nowhere to go but up. But there is a place to go but up, because when you open your suitcase, you find it filled with dolls. Dolls like the ones in that movie that scared you so much you wet your girlfriend's bed. Ah, Marissa, the one that got away. You return the bag to the airport with relief. It lasts until you get back to your room, where a fallen doll waits to greet you.
Don't let a suitcase full of dolls ruin your vacation. Go on a real vacation. GoRVing.com.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
We are in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Time to get just a bit outside with the Sportsocracy. And last night there was a touching moment at halftime of the Philadelphia Eagles Minnesota Vikings game. Dick Vermeil got his Hall of Fame ring. And today we found out the next class of first-year eligibles for the Hall of Fame. And I don't see a way we don't come out of this without two first-ballot Hall of Famers. No doubt for me. Darrelle Revis.
I'll riot. I'll tell you right now, I'll riot.
Darrelle Revis, Revis Island, and Joe Thomas. I don't know that I could trust a process any longer that doesn't have those two guys as first ballot Hall of Famers. I was surprised. Look, I used to have a Dwight Freeney jersey. I was a huge Dwight Freeney fan. But I don't know. I don't know if he's first ballot.
I don't know if he's first ballot. It's going to be hard to get in. I mean, there is a backlog in the NFL that is just insane.
Right.
And I look at a guy like Reggie Wayne, good luck. It's going to take a minute.
9 first-year eligible players were advanced out of 129 nominees, along with the ones we've mentioned, Joe Thomas, Dwight Freeney, and Darrelle Revis. Chris Johnson, CJ2K.
Don't call us, we'll call you.
Jari Evans, Navarro Bowman, Cam Chancellor, Shane Leckler, and also James Harrison. I'm more upset about that than anything.
Yeah, when you put
James
Shane
Harrison.
Look, I love Pat McAfee as much, if not more, than other people. And I get for the brand, I understand. But to put Shane Leckler and James Harrison in the same sentence, stop doing that.
Right.
And every AP article did it.
And James Harrison. Oh, okay. I mean, I feel like he should get a little bit more love than that. Maybe at least have him mentioned after CJ2K.
Sloan Jordan in our YouTube comment said Revis and Klecko in the same year. Book it. If it happens, I will be in attendance. I have never, ever had any desire to go to a Hall of Fame. Ever. Darrelle Revis and Joe Klecko make it in the same year. I will be present and accounted for.
Yeah.
I will go to Ohio by choice.
I've always wanted to go. I've always wanted to go to the Hall of Fame festivities.
It has never appealed to me.
No.
But that could get me there.
Agree or disagree? 2, that's the over-under. 2, first ballot Hall of Famers this year.
I will say over 2.
Over 2.
I will say over 2.
Okay.
Eli Manning is a funny cat. If you haven't seen his portrayal of Chad Powers, I don't really know how to describe. He looks a lot like Matthew McConaughey in Dazed and Confused, with a really creepy mustache and a kind of pseudo mullet. He was trying out for the Penn State football team. It was walk-on day at Penn State, so Eli Manning went up there, had a Hollywood makeup artist do the thing on him, and he shows up, and the only person that knew was James Franklin.
Nice.
It is 15 minutes of some of the funniest you will ever see. He also ran a 5.40.
But nobody went, dude, you're like 50.
No, so the prosthetic on his face, he looked old, but like 28 old instead of 41 old.
Okay, so he looked more like, I just made it back from the service guy.
Well, and he was just so funny. He was so over the top. He spoke in third person virtually the entire time.
Oh, God.
When he ran the 40, he kept going think fast, run fast. He did it the whole way down the – it was hilarious.
That's funny.
Well, now apparently Peyton's production company is fielding offers from multiple networks to Omaha Productions. Been flooded by people in the entertainment industry that want to work with Eli Manning, Chad Powers.
Nice.
And the thought is that it would be like a Ted Lasso Apple TV show.
Yeah.
I'm all the way in.
Absolutely.
I couldn't stand Eli Manning as a player, but as a commentator, oh yeah. The Manning cast has won me over.
Which you were one of its biggest detractors.
Well,
to
just
start
because I
out.
thought it was stupid. I really did. I thought it was stupid. And now I get it. Now I understand it. You're able to be funny, and
Chad is fast.
Fast Chad.
Fast Chad.
I can't remember what he had another line, and I couldn't remember what it was. Oh, when he said, "I'm not just good looking, I can throw it too."
Mm-hmm.
That was the funniest part.
Can we see Chad Powers and Kenny Powers unite at some point?
Yeah.
HBO, get on it. Let's have a
I'm here for
crossover
it.
event.
It was hilarious.
Chad Powers gets partying lessons from Kenny Powers.
And then they both get partying lessons from me.
That could be hilarious. Oh, wow. All right. So the Philadelphia Eagles last night on Monday Night Football, they looked every bit. Remember that time when we did preseason power rankings
and we just couldn't stop with the Philadelphia Eagles?
And we had the Eagles at like 9, and it felt
like, that
so
feels
gross.
gross.
Right. Like, as much crap as you've talked about Jalen Hurts not ever being a good quarterback, and I mean, all the draft discussions that we had about Jalen Hurts and how stupid it was that they took him in the draft when they had Carson Wentz on the team. It was just a wasted draft pick, and you constantly mocked him for being a winner because he just wins everywhere he goes. Yeah. I mean, I think he does.
Offense?
I think he does now.
In this offense?
Right.
You're right. And I'll admit wholeheartedly, if you do this, you can be phenomenal. Now, I need to caution you on something. First of all, Philadelphia's number in our power rankings, it's quite high.
Yes.
I'm not so sure that I couldn't have thrown for 240 against that Minnesota defense last night. I don't know what got into Ed Donatel of, we're just going to play an umbrella. We'll cover 4 quarters. It's a formidable way to play defense.
Right.
In the 6th grade, you're 100% right. If you're coaching a middle school team, that is a formidable way to play defense. Now, that being said, I'm not trying to poo-poo the Philadelphia Eagles to the point of I'm going to say something that's going to sound insane when I say it, and then I'm going to explain it, and you're going to do the same thing I did of, oh, man, they're the Buffalo Bills of the NFC. I have a mobile quarterback with a running game that is sufficient. I have a really good offensive line. I run RPO constantly, and I went and traded for a number one, no doubt receiver in this league that you have to honor at all times. And the other pieces, they're just pretty ancillary. I mean, I have a good two in Devontae Smith, Gabriel Davis. I have a tight end that really scares you in the end zone, Dawson Knox.
Yeah.
And my defense is insane. They're the NFC Buffalo Bills. They're the best team in the NFC. Now, that's volatile because I've seen bad Jalen. Oh, he's a winner. Yeah. If you don't put a corner within 8 yards of my receiver, it's not that hard to just throw guys that are wide open. Most quarterbacks in the NFL can do that, especially when they're in a clean pocket with the ability to set their feet. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he doesn't go 330 and 2 rushing touchdowns again. Just out on a limb. Going to say he probably doesn't account for 400 yards again. But it was insanely impressive.
Ever?
I'm not going to say ever.
I mean, come on. They are playing the Commanders next week. Just saying, that's a rivalry game. And
that's a rivalry game that has Jeremy taking the dog written all over it. Is it in Washington?
It is.
Yeah, that game has Jeremy takes the dog written all over it.
Really?
Let down short week. How many different narratives do you want me to throw at you?
Yikes.
Not that they're going to win.
Right.
Not that they're going to win.
They'll cover the number, whatever it's going to be.
That Philadelphia team is phenomenally good. And the A.J. Brown thing has worked exactly how I thought it would.
6.5 right now.
Maybe not. Maybe Vegas is looking at this going, all right, we're going to dip a toe. We're not going to cannonball in the deep end. Dip a toe into Philadelphia.
Yeah, because Philadelphia covers. And never even thinks about not covering that number.
Yeah. There's a reason I'm winning. There's a reason I'm winning the picks contest.
By a game.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's okay.
Or
wire to wire.
2 games.
Wire to wire. That's all I'm going to say. Wire to wire. But Philadelphia was incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
They have a very deep defensive line. Having James Bradbury and Darius Slay it's a game changer. Darius Slay was every bit the shutdown corner that you would want him to be last night.
Big play Slay. It's the reason he's got that name.
Now, I have a belief as to part of why that happened that we'll talk about in the next segment when we talk about the Minnesota Vikings.
Who, oh my God, they did it again.
Kirk Cousins in primetime.
It's infallible.
I mean,
it's infallible when he doesn't play the Chicago Bears.
He is the most predictable NFL player, I think, in the history of time. He cannot play under the bright lights. Now, last night, the defense did him no favors. None. But, I mean, if you're a Philadelphia Eagle fan, I don't think you can be too excited. The NFC, every team in the NFC, every high-end team
you got a flaw.
is down.
Yeah.
All of them. Green Bay Packers are not as good as you thought they were.
No.
The defense is not as good as you thought it was, period. Can that change? Yep. Absolutely. Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. Weird things going on, not living with his wife. Bruce Arians, Bryson DeChambeau's dad on the sideline instigating fights. And
hurt. Constantly hurt. Offensive line's hurt. Wide receivers hurt. Hurt.
The Rams almost gave a game away to the Falcons. If you're an Eagles fan, you got to be walking away from last night going, we got a shot here.
Yep.
Now, I think a lot of things had to break right for you, but you're young. I do think that team will get better. And seeing Jalen Hurts do that, this is a lot like I said with Lamar Jackson. I have never been a big proponent of running quarterbacks. Now, as time goes on, that I am very much changing my tune because I'm watching the RPO, which I always thought was just asking to be heavily penalized. Now I'm watching these teams perfect it, going, I don't see how you run an offense without it. Because I don't know how you defend it.
You gotta have a mobile quarterback these days.
I don't think you have to. Tom Brady's on line one, who in a foot race would lose to me by a lot.
Well, I mean, of the new guys, I don't know that there's just a quarterback who, I mean, because when Tom runs, it's a thing. Like, oh my God, Tom just ran for 12 yards.
Yeah, because everybody fell down.
There's not that guy anymore. Because it's just ingrained in you from childhood. You are the best athlete on the team. You're going to play quarterback, and now they can do it. They all can move in some way.
But, I mean, just everybody contributed last night. And thank God for the offensive coordinator. Finally, a little clarity. That Kenny Gainwell thing, that's cute. We can do that. We sprinkle that in. A little sprinkle of Boston Scott. Miles Sanders is the guy.
Pound the rock.
That should be that switch. And I can't emphasize this enough. I'm really glad that Jonathan Gannon figured out eventually I have to blitz. He spent an entire year last year of Philadelphia fans just railing him because he never blitzed. Yeah, I think he's figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's figured it out. And Nick Sirianni, Mr. I'm a potted plant or I'm a little teapot or whatever weird thing it was he said, starting to look like a pretty bright guy.
Minnesota Vikings fall 24-7 against the Philadelphia Eagles. I will say this, though. Best part about last night's game, Irv Smith time.
Oh, it's
Irv Smith time. It's about time for Irv Smith to come around.
Irv Smith could have had a huge game. Unfortunately, he has this problem where his brain and his hands do not always work in direct concert.
That and the Jesse Ventura Open.
I didn't even see it. I had a bunch of people ask me about it. I didn't see
it. It was so good.
Most overrated wrestler of all time.
100%.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it'd been Ted DiBiase, I'd have been there for it.
Better career as a broadcaster.
No doubt. And then there was that time as governor, and we're not going to talk about that.
Right. I mean, he went on to do other things. But, yeah, he did the Open last night, talking about how frustrated the Minnesota Vikings are, and this is the team that stole our Super Bowl ring. It's good. It's good. Unfortunately, the Miami Vikings. Do
they play in the USFL?
They play in Tecmo Bowl. The Minnesota Vikings could not perform at all. Justin Jefferson got locked down. Yeah. And are you worried about that?
Justin Jefferson showed me something last night that I saw on film when I evaluated him. I've been waiting for this day very patiently. I've been taking a lot of flack about my takes on Justin Jefferson. And after the break, I'm going to tell you what I saw, and I'm going to tell you what every other team in the NFL saw.
Well, I have been waiting forever to get a handle on my weight loss problem because it was a weight loss problem. I could not lose weight. I could not make myself stick to any kind of a program until I found PhD Weight Loss. Go to myphdweightloss.com because they have helped me lose over 90 pounds since last Thanksgiving. It's just, I mean, the accountability, the support, and better off, the food that they provide you. 80% of all you need is given to you.
I did not have the grand amount of weight to lose that Tank did. I had become very lazy in my food decisions. Fast food was easier, and that's where I went. Now, thanks to PhD, I know how to make healthy decisions. I'm back to my high school weight, and I've never felt better, and it's thanks to the planning program of PhD Weight Loss.
And I am a slimmer, trimmer Tank Spencer today because of PhD, and, the results have been amazing. You go to myphdweightloss.com, you can see great results as well. PhD Weight Loss is the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. a premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
This is Loyalty Lab Interview 6. Subject, grandmother's loyalty. Margie, what do you do when your grandson misbehaves?
Angels don't misbehave.
Here we study the most loyal, like you and... Oh, there goes the lamp.
Shouldn't have put it there.
Shell and the Fuel Rewards program has our members' backs, too. It's super easy to save on every gallon. Loyal, just like how you acted like that wasn't his fault.
Someone should clean that up before he gets hurt.
Yes! Loyal, just like that.
10 years of FR.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, hey, about to start a load. On hot? You know, washing in cold water with Tide can save you up to $150 a year on your energy bill. $150? The lower the temp, the lower your bills. Simple.
Turn to cold and get $15 when you bundle Tide and Downy. Energy savings based on average from switching from hot to cold in non-HE machines. Must buy at least one participating Tide or Dreft detergent item plus at least one participating Downy or Bounce scent booster, liquid fabric softener, or dryer sheet. Prepaid card by mail. Visit pglaundryrebate.com for terms and conditions.
I did a site visit, and the space is absolutely incredible.
Este's Reiki Clinic is opening another studio across town.
But there's a lot to wrap up.
But staffing an entire office requires more than just deep breathing.
And at least 4 new practitioners.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The can't-miss music event of the year is finally here.
Our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Featuring once-in-a-lifetime performances from the biggest superstars.
Live from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. This Friday and Saturday night, starting at 10 p.m.
Watch on the CW app and CWTV.com. And listen on iHeartRadio.
Capital One is the proud partner of the iHeartRadio Music Festival for the 6th year in a row. Bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
The Sportsocracy.
Hello, everybody. This is good old JR Jim Ross, WWE Hall of Famer. Boy, these boys are smart. You talk about goofier than a pet coon. Let me tell you something. This show is a legitimate slobber knocker.
The Monday night doubleheader. How did it feel? By the way,
I wish they would do that every week.
Yeah,
that was phenomenal.
Yeah, I really dug it. I really dug it.
And then the way they staggered it to where halftime of the Bills was where Eagles-Vikings really took off. I mean, I missed the first 5 minutes. And then, obviously, I went back to the Bills. And when that game was very obviously a blowout, I tapped out and went full-time to Philly, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. Until that game was a blowout, and then you went to bed by halftime, right?
No, I stayed up and watched Bad Beats. That's my Monday ritual.
That's your guilty pleasure.
I have to have Bad Beats. Mainly because I want to see how many of Scott Van Pelt's choices did I have.
Right.
This week,
2 of them. Good for you. 24-7 was all done in the first half. Philadelphia Eagles over the Minnesota Vikings. The Eagles' defense did not do Minnesota any favors.
I mean, but neither did nothing did them favors. Nothing did them favors. Least of which, their best player.
Mm-hmm.
But Justin Jefferson had 6 catches for 48 yards. And there were probably 50 minutes of that game where if you had given him a ripcord to where he could have just appeared anywhere else, he would have taken it.
Mm-hmm.
That was what I saw at LSU. If you remember when I profiled him, I said, there are games where he is out of this world dynamic, and there are times you forget he's in the stadium. That's what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
2 of the 3 interceptions Kirk Cousins threw directly on Justin Jefferson. First one ran a lazy route in the end zone. You ever see Stephon Diggs do that? You ever see Devontae Adams do that?
Nah.
You ever see the elite receivers in the NFL do that? I'll even go Jamar Chase, his teammate at LSU. You ever see him do that? Nope. Then not only did you do it once, then you get manna from heaven. You somehow wind up in the red zone, which I still dumbfounded how that actually happened. And you do it again.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot be a head case like that in the NFL. You can't. And I understand it's been, he's so dynamic and let the good times roll. You know what NFL defensive coordinators saw? Get in his face.
Mm-hmm.
DK Metcalf rule number 1. Get in his face, take him out.
Yep. Darius Slay has always been notorious for that.
They just mixed the coverages. They got in his face. They did things that took him out of the game. And once he was out, he never came back in.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm Minnesota, that would be incredibly troubling to me. What would be more troubling is that Kirk Cousins turns into Ryan Leaf the minute he doesn't play at 1 o'clock on a Sunday.
Right. It was not good. As you know, obviously the game plan didn't really work, and there was no adjustment.
No.
To make the game plan work, which, I mean, you can expect out of a guy coaching his second game in the NFL.
The Ed Donatel side of that's what really would concern me. He had nothing. I mean, they're playing shell. If I heard Troy Aikman say that one time last night, I heard him say it 94 times. Because they're just dropping 4 guys deep to keep you from beating them over the top. Are you really that worried? And the saddest part is it didn't even work.
Right.
My opinion on Minnesota changed a lot last night. I know it's one game. I get it. If you remember when I did picks yesterday, I cautioned you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going over the top on Minnesota. That defense scares me. It still scares me. Now, they did a great job of keeping you out of the end zone. Philadelphia could have easily beaten them as badly as Buffalo beat Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't. But there's a lot to be scared of there.
Yeah. Minnesota, shockingly enough, still inconsistent. I mean, I get it.
The play call's just maddening.
Maybe we thought that this team was better than this, but I didn't expect them to win this game anyway.
Name the leading rusher for the Minnesota Vikings yesterday.
It wasn't Cook?
Nope. Cook had 6 carries for 17 yards.
Was it C.J. Ham?
Nope. Wasn't Alexander Madison either. I wouldn't have asked you if it was that easy.
Nwangwu.
Oh.
I don't even know if there's another guy on the team.
Kirkland Cousins. 2 carries for 20 yards.
You got to be kidding.
How in the world does that happen?
Don't know.
That was the most maddening part. And I'm not going to lie. I've seen this happen with another Sean McVay disciple in Zach Taylor. You want to just throw it all over the yard? What has differentiated Sean McVay from Zach Taylor and through 2 games, Kevin O'Connell? He never does that.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how the game script goes. You never walk away from a game and go, man, the Rams ran it 6 times. Because you can't become that unbalanced.
Right.
And as soon as they did, Philadelphia just sat back and went, you're not beating us this way.
Mm-hmm.
You stand no shot of beating us this way. So the hope is that O'Connell learns from it as a play caller, young play caller in this league. But that was ugly. I mean, ugly. When you get outgained 486 to 264, they had the ball for 23 minutes in this game.
You may be much more worried about them now, but is this still a playoff team?
No, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as dead set on that. Starting at the beginning of the next hour, we'll be unveiling this week's power rankings. I will be honest with you. I think Minnesota and Detroit are way closer than most people do.
You know, I do too.
I think they are way closer than most people do.
I do too. But is it recency bias? Is it just because we're so excited about the Lions and they won a game this week? Well, guess what? We get to find out next week because the Minnesota Vikings will play the Detroit Lions. It'll be in Minnesota, so give them a little bit of an advantage for that. That could be the shootout of the week.
It could be. It's going to be fun regardless.
Because those defenses
are not great.
Exactly. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Week 2 Power Rankings begin after the Sports Center update.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, warm afternoons, comfortable cool nights. That's the recipe through the end of the work week. And then some rain showers showing up early next week in our forecast. Should be precip free here in Asheville right on through the weekend. 57 our low in the valley tonight. Sunshine Wednesday, warm. High 88 degrees. Not too far off of records for Wednesday. The mid-80s on Thursday for the first day of fall. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
This week on the Buncombe County Game of the Week, we see Asheville High for the first time as they host Irwin. This MAC showdown always features a lot of fireworks, and we'll get it started with Sports Tank Friday at 6 and the Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show at 6:30. On AM 1400 and TuscolaRadio.com, Franklin comes into Waynesville to take on the Mountaineers. Cowboy John Roden and the gang get it started at 7 with a pregame and a kick at 7:30. The best high school football coverage is on News Radio 570, WWNC, and ESPN Asheville.
We could talk about how complicated other banks make it to redeem credit card rewards. Or we could talk about how with Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Talk about amazing. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
Millions of Americans live in recovery from a substance use or mental health disorder. Talking about recovery and sharing stories helps to break stigma and offers the hope that people struggling and their loved ones need. Mobilize Recovery Across America is a national bus tour with tons of resources. Join us during National Recovery Month and learn more. Get tour updates and share your recovery story at iHeartRecoveryMonth.com. Recovery isn't just possible, it's real. Learn more at iHeartRecoveryMonth.com.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
I'm Christine Lisi. The defending Stanley Cup champion Avalanche re-signing star Nathan MacKinnon to a new 8-year extension worth nearly $101 million. MacKinnon, the top overall pick in 2013, played a crucial role in Colorado's cup-winning season. After 2 subpar performances by the offense, Steelers quarterback Mitch Trubisky says he's ready to open up the passing game, hopes he gets the call to do just that, adds he needs to get playmakers the ball, make better decisions, and be aggressive. It has been a rough go for Trubisky in both games this season, but he's not Pittsburgh's only problem offensively, notes ESPN's Dan Graziano.
The hope is the line gets better as the season goes along, and they think it will. They can't run the ball right now.
No.
Najee Harris getting tackled in the backfield before he even gets to the line, so that has to get better. So, yeah, you trust Mike Tomlin. Obviously, he's been through, well, not necessarily this, but he's been through stuff before, and he knows how to coach his team through it.
Dan Graziano on Get Up. Bills cornerback Dane Jackson, who took a scary hit in last night's game, released from the hospital after tests revealed he has no major injury to his neck or spinal cord.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, second hour of the program, and it's a Tuesday. And that means it's time for Week 2's NFL Power Rankings. Welcome into the Ingles Studio. Sportsocracy, always brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Go check them out at 629 Brevard Road. Don't forget to tell them that we sent you, and they'll give you a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Just ask Tank. His trade was worth $11 US.
Yep. Got $266 toward my 2017 Rogue. She's so beautiful sitting out there in the parking lot, and now I don't have to worry about whether or not I'm going to get home every night. You could have that same new car feeling, or even certified used pre-owned vehicle feeling at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Welcome in thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link so you can join us in the chat throughout the unveiling of the Week 2 Power Rankings.
And as we go along, who do we have too high? Who do we have too low? Starting at 32, I originally thought that I would have a team close to here. Then I realized that there's another team that is legitimately worse at everything than the Carolina Panthers.
Mm-hmm. And the only way they can win a game is if there's a hurricane outside.
A hurricane. They need a hurricane.
They need a frog strangler to be able to beat a team. Look, we don't put too much stock into the Week 1 win over the San Francisco 49ers.
By too much stock, if you mean zero, because that's how much I put into it.
Yeah, the Chicago Bears are terrible. And there's no way for me. If there was a way for it to be sugar-coated, you know me, people. I will sugarcoat things.
Oh, yeah. You are the definition of participation trophy. Justin Fields is sacked on one of every 8 dropbacks.
Mm-hmm.
That's not just this year. That's for his career. He is as bad of a quarterback as you will ever see. They have no weapons. The defense is on the field constantly. And if I'm an NFL defensive coordinator playing against this team, I'm putting 9 in the box because the only player you have that scares me is David Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, he'll wear out. He always does.
Yep. I mean, Khalil Herbert's not bad. He might be
also a running back.
He might be the second best player on this team.
Could be. Could very well be.
That's how bad they are. They are an absolute turnstile. The defense is not good.
They had 48 net passing yards on a day with no weather. It's just a regular almost fall day. Justin Fields had 48 net passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. Man, aren't you glad you traded up for him? A wise man tried to tell you.
Yep. Hopefully that'll be the last time we have to see them on primetime.
Ever. Never put this Bears team on primetime ever, 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 ever again.
Oh, no, they have another one.
Stop.
They do. Oh, they have 2.
Stop.
Oh, they've got 2 coming up. So one is on October the 13th at 8:15. And then the next week in primetime on ESPN against the New England Patriots.
Oh, I have to wash my hair that day. I've already determined I'm washing my hair that day.
That's both of those games. I mean, hey, the Commanders will get a win.
The Bears are terrible.
Bears are bad. They're number 32. Not close.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Now, the team that I said yesterday should strive to be 32 comes in at number 31. It's the Carolina Panthers. Baker Mayfield is awful.
Awful. If it wasn't for Justin Fields, he would be the worst quarterback in the NFL.
And you just don't have you don't have the inspired play that it's going to take to do anything in the realm of what Panthers fans wanted to see this year. We want to see the defense be tough. We want to see progress. We want to see growth.
And you have all of the things. The defense is fine. Now you're really struggling to stop the run. You bottled up Saquon, kind of.
Until you didn't.
Right. And it's just when your defense is on the field this much, when you turn the ball over like this, and I'm going to tell you this right now. I tried to tell you on Ike Ekwonu. He's a guard. He's a guard. He's a guard.
Mm-hmm.
He has been an absolute turnstile. I'm trying not to overreact because I told you from the jump he has issues in pass pro. He's going to have to learn. This is the perfect time to do it because you're not going anywhere.
Right.
But, I'm telling you, the leash here would be getting shorter by the day.
Yeah.
Because you will get a quarterback killed. There were actual snaps against the Giants where he didn't do anything right. None of it was right. His feet were wrong. His anchor was wrong. His hands were wrong. There was one where his head was wrong. How in the world do you get your head wrong when there's one guy in front of you? That would scare me. Move Brady Christensen out to the outside. That's your fail-safe.
Yep.
Because I do believe he can play left tackle in this league. Ceiling's probably not that high. But Ekwonu will be a great guard in this league. This is the Robert Gallery rule. How long does it take you to realize it?
Carolina Panthers, number 31. at number 30.
This one was close.
It hurts. It hurts me to say that this team is – that we even think this team is slightly above the Carolina Panthers. Just the Houston Texans.
Their offense is offensive.
It's putrid.
It's offensive. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's taken me 2 weeks to go, okay, so maybe the Texans would take a quarterback if they wind up with a top 3 pick.
Absolutely they would.
Maybe they won't be the spot for Will Anderson. Davis Mills has been really, really bad. But they're a team that, the defense has been scrappy. They've stayed in games. They somehow managed to tie with the Indianapolis Colts, which to me says more about the Colts than it does about the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
They fall into the same path as the Chicago Bears.
Yes.
You just don't have weapons. I don't know how you think you're going to bring along a quarterback where you're trotting out Chris Conley and Nico Collins and Pharaoh Brown and the ghost of O.J. Howard.
Hey, O.J. had a big week 1.
Yeah, he played 6 snaps and had 2 touchdowns. That is the definition of he did not mean to.
No, that's getting the most out of your opportunities, which you instructed me yesterday. That's what he's got to be number 1 in PFF, right?
Ashton Davis?
No, O.J. Howard, number 1 tight end,
oh,
PFF.
No,
6 plays, 4 catches, and 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
I don't know where he ranks.
Yeah,
but
I have no idea. I'm being obviously flippant about that.
Hyperbolic, if you will.
Yeah, of course. Of course. This is just a bad team. The one thing I do kind of stomach about the Houston Texans is their defense. It's same as the Carolina Panthers. If you don't have an offense, you're not going to win many games. I don't feel like this should be hard to understand, especially in a day and age that we're in with the NFL. Like, there was a time where maybe you could do that. You know, Tampa Bay
Dink
Buccaneers.
and dunk.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was 20 years ago. You remember how bad that offense was? They were not good at all. We had a showdown with the greatest show on turf, St. Louis Rams, in the playoffs in 2000, I think it was, where the final score was like 9-6. Couldn't score points, but that day's gone. You have to be able to contain these elite offenses and answer them with your own offense. If you can't do that, great. Okay, so you held the Green Bay Packers to 20 points. Woo! You could only score 4. And I don't even know how you did that.
The most damning stat you will hear all day about the Houston Texans, Davis Mills' completion percentage on passes that go more than 10 yards is 36%. Yikes.
That's fun. That's a fun stat.
He has no shot. You have no way. You got one weapon. I'm scared of Brandon Cooks. Right. Everybody else is right on the line of the USFL.
Yep.
I will say, as I did power rankings,
the more I'm thinking we did this wrong with the Panthers. They should be 30.
I'm going to disagree for the square.
Really?
I can at least run on Carolina. The Texans have played 2 games. One against an offense that we thought was good. They've averaged 18. They've given up 18 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
Which Carolina's in the same ballpark. But it was against the Browns and the Giants.
Right. Offensively, you scored 29 points this year.
Oof.
Congratulations. You know who else has done that? The Chicago Bears. Exactly. 29 points apiece on offense. It's not going to win you any games. At number 29, it's the Seattle Seahawks.
They're not good. You go back to week 1, you had the emotion of being against Russ and all of those things. It's just because the Broncos aren't good either.
Mm-hmm.
The Broncos aren't good either. Seattle, what do they do well? I think you do have 2 good running backs.
Ish.
In all honesty, I think Rashad Penny and Kenneth Walker III could be a top 5 to 6 running back tandem in the league.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that you're going to be behind all the time. And Seattle is living by they're adhering to the playbook. We beat Russ in week 1 because that was revenge, and that was what we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got 16 more games, and we want to be bad.
And we want
And they're
to
playing
lose them
young
all.
players. They're playing their drafted guys. They're letting them learn on the fly, which Tariq Woolen, I'm going to be honest with you, he could not have landed in a better spot than he did.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he is going to be a dog in this league. Now, he is going to get dog walked a bunch of times this year. It's okay. You need a legitimate NFL quarterback. As a West Virginia guy and a New York Jet guy, it ain't Geno Smith.
Well, thankfully, we should, in my estimation, be able to put away this whole, are the Seattle Seahawks a good or even a relevant team after they lose to the Atlanta Falcons and the Detroit Lions in consecutive weeks. After that happens in the next 2 weeks, we can put this to bed, and we'll hopefully have no longer any rogue 12s out there talking about, oh, we're still good.
Hey, if you need to know, last week was that week in college football that was probably a good day to play golf. This week, we have the Seahawks and the Falcons and the Bears and the Texans. Woohoo!
Speaking of the Dirty Birds, they're coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound light slowdowns between Airport Road and Long Shoals Road. Smoky Park Highway north and southbound delays approaching Sand Hill Road. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Pond Road delays. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road light delays. Hendersonville Road moving well. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Summer is winding down, but business needs keep ramping up. Check out Indeed, the all-in-one hiring solution that helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Better sleep gives you the energy you need to spend more time doing the things you love. Your sleep equipment helps you manage your sleep disorder and live a more active life, but it only works if you use it. Sleep equipment manufacturers recommend daily cleaning, and SoClean is a helpful complement to your daily routine. Join over 2 million SoClean customers enjoying peace of mind. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Find out more at SoClean.com. Always follow the manufacturer's instruction. Prepayment required for risk-free trial. For contraindications and details, visit SoClean.com.
Other banks go out of their way to make redeeming credit card rewards needlessly complicated, like how they require minimums or force you to use your rewards before reaching some arbitrary expiration date. But Discover isn't like that. With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount, at any time. So you'll never have to jump through hoops. Unless you're like a trapezist, then by all means, go right ahead. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
This is Loyalty Lab Interview 6. Subject, grandmother's loyalty. Margie, what do you do when your grandson misbehaves?
Angels don't misbehave.
Here we study the most loyal, like you and... Oh, there goes the lamp.
Shouldn't have put it there.
Shell and the Fuel Rewards program has our members' backs, too. It's super easy to save on every gallon. Loyal, just like how you acted like that wasn't his fault.
Someone should clean that up before he gets hurt.
Yes, loyal, just like that.
10 years of FR.com. Terms and conditions apply.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge is back. Just log on now to ESPNAVL.com to make your picks. Each weekly winner gets a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and will be a finalist for our grand prize. Log on now, ESPNAVL.com.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
Take all this, burn it, okay? Gasoline, kerosene, either one. Burn it.
It's week 2 power ranking time in the Sportsocracy. And, yeah, we always have to start at the bottom. We got the Bears, the Panthers, the Texans, and the Seahawks. And then
the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, those dirty birds.
Look, it's great that you found a way to rally against a Rams team that was already thinking about what kind of sashimi they were going to have for dinner. They're going to be annoying.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be a lot. To me, the Falcons look like a team where the Lions were a year ago. Now, you don't have Jared Goff. I don't believe in Marcus Mariota at all.
You shouldn't.
But he has found a way to incorporate Drake London. At least did this past week.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get Kyle Pitts going. Now, you got 2 legitimate weapons here. Kyle Pitts has 3 catches through 2 games. And I understand he's doing other things. They're trying to evolve him as a blocker.
Mm-hmm.
He has been a more, I hate this term, willing blocker. I get it. This is a figure things out about yourself year. And I do think that a year from now, this team has the most salary cap space in the NFL next year. So, I mean, there are things to be happy about. You're going to have a pick in the top 5. You have a ton of money. I think you've got 2 legitimate big boy weapons that are going to be tough to game plan against.
I was going to say you'll either have one of the 2 of Calvin Ridley back in the fold, or you're going to trade him for something, and you'll have extra capital or whatever you could get out of a Calvin Ridley deal if he still wants out. Although,
just maybe keep him off the DK Sportsbook. Don't do those things from your cell phone.
Yeah, don't do that.
Before team number 27, we have our first super chat of the day from Nicholas Cole that said, "Can I just say good call on Cousins Monday? Good game." Yeah, I trust Kirk Cousins in prime time about as much as I trust knowing things about the Clintons.
Mm-hmm.
It's just don't ever do it. The gambler in me has used that as a cheat code for many years. If I ever meet Kirk Cousins, he may slap me for doing this, but I'm going to walk up and shake his hand and say, "That's for the car I drove here because you did that."
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be happy with that.
They would slap me right in the face and go, "You like that?"
Exactly.
That's fine.
Exactly.
That was a $20,000 shot, Kirk, and it was worth every penny.
At number 27, it is Jeremy's
Jets, Jets.
Yeah, the miraculous comeback against the Cleveland Browns this past week obviously makes you feel a little bit different about this team.
You've got some fight in you. I'll give you that, and I'm happy for it.
Did the Cleveland Browns just completely brown themselves? Yes, they did. But there were also things to look at and go, okay, we know Joe Flacco's not this good.
Well, the thing that makes me nervous is how reliant you are on the pass. Joe Flacco's thrown 17 more passes than any quarterback in the NFL. That is a phrase that should never, ever, ever be true. And it's not even that you've not been able to run the ball. I want to say they're averaging like 5.2 yards a clip with Carter and Breece Hall.
Mm-hmm.
This is a week. And just, you remember that I said this. I've been a Jets fan for 30 years. This is a week that they get absolutely smoked. If you want me to believe you've turned a corner, this game better be close.
Mm-hmm. Much like you said in the Florida State-Louisville game this past weekend, this is the kind of game that you need to show that you can come up because you had an emotional win this past week. You know, we've scrubbed away the miserable week 1. Is Zach Wilson coming back?
No, it'll be next week against Pittsburgh.
Oh, so the number one quarterback in the NFL gets one more game.
The jettiest thing that could possibly happen because the Jets absolutely love to put you on a tee and then just knock you over the left field fence. They go in and play really competitively with the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
They harass Joe Burrow, shut down Jamar Chase, whether it's with DJ Reed or Sauce Gardner, and then go to Pittsburgh and get eviscerated by Kenny Pickett. That's the jettiest thing that could possibly happen.
I like it. Yeah, you're better at this than I am. I'm always trying to come up with scenarios on how you're going to be crying in your beer.
There is nothing in my life, and I've been married and divorced twice, has ever brought me more pure sadness than the New York Jets.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm being a little cynical. I got 30 years backing me up. And there's a lot of talent on this team.
Yes, there is. And the only thing I can think is, I mean, they're trying to take advantage of Joe Flacco's arm. He does still have the arm strength.
And that's all well and good. Mike LaFleur, it's my favorite line, and I use it a lot. Run the damn ball!
I mean, are they not doing this because that's what they expect to do when Zach comes back?
No. Oh, good Lord, no. Zach Wilson will never throw 45 passes in a game.
Then
ever.
Why the hell are you doing it with Falco?
Because you trust Joe Falco. You trust Joe Falco. I'm not saying you should. Just run the ball. Speaking of teams that really struggle to run the ball.
The Dallas Cowboys at number 26 in the Week 2 power ranking.
But they beat the Bengals. Mm-hmm. You have a player. His name is Micah Parsons, and he is the bad man in the closet, under the bed, wherever he's hiding. He is a scary, terrifying individual. End of message, repeat the line.
The rest of the team's just not good.
I don't really like anything of this team. The line looks patchwork. Cooper Rush had a good game, I think. If you think there are actual Cowboy fans that have tweeted me at ESPN Draft Nerd. Well, the Cowboys are going to be 5-1 when Dak comes back. I think you transverse those numbers because 1-5 is a lot more likely to me.
I can't wait to see them lose to the New York Giants this week.
Oh, it would. I'm so okay with it. I'm so. And look, I'm a Jets fan, so notoriously we don't like the Giants. I will be the biggest New York Giant cheerleader on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see a path that Saquon Barkley makes you look foolish.
I just don't know how you're going to continue this streak. It's inexplicable to me. Cooper Rush comes in and beats the Cincinnati Bengals. Mainly because the defense is not as bad as, Jeremy makes them out to be.
No, the defense has a guy. That is what one high-level pass rusher will do.
Mm-hmm.
He may be the best pass rusher in the NFL. Maybe. The rest of the defense encourages me exactly zero.
Mm-hmm. Cincinnati's offensive line is terrible. I think it was, Joe Burrow got hit 15 times this past week?
It felt like 1,500, but I can go with 15.
Right. I think I'm remembering that correctly. And weird things happen. Shocker of shockers, your offense doesn't run really well when Joe Burrow's on his back the entire time, which was the problem in all of their losses last year. And I feel like you're going to find out when you go up against the New York Giants this week what an inspired team looks like. Next up, the New England Patriots, just above the Dallas Cowboys. And who's shocked? This offense is not good.
I have look. It's hard to make me laugh. Tank says this all the time, that if you counted the laughs in this studio, he accounts for 97% of them.
Yes.
Because he is a comedian's best friend. Now, that being said, when I went to the mothership, ESPN.com today, look at their power rankings, just to, I had already set mine. I wanted to see how I fell in with everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw New England at 16, I almost had to go home and change my pants because I laughed until it hurt. There is nothing good about this team. The defense is okay. You're going to see this in very short order. But they beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. I know. I don't care.
They beat Mitchell Trubisky.
Mm-hmm. They have a Kenny Pickett to turn to, who his floor is your quarterback's ceiling. And I'm not a Kenny Pickett guy. Their weapons are better than yours. The way this Patriots team is constructed, they would have been a borderline playoff team in 1994. In 2022, it is a big old yuck fest. And this week, you get the Baltimore Ravens. And then you go to the Green Bay Packers. And there's a whole lot of Lions, Jets, Vikings, Bills, Raiders, Bengals. It's not going to end well.
Mm-hmm.
This is not me being a hater. That's not it. The Cole Strange pick, he's been a dude through 2 weeks. He's a guard. He's a guard. He's a impact. A good guard.
Right, but not an impact player that's going to change your fortunes.
When you go through 2 weeks of a season and you go, hey, look at our guard. That's kind of like saying, hey, we got a great kicker. Woohoo! I'm going to sit back. I said New England was going to go 5-12. One of the hardest parts of this was I couldn't put New England behind any team that's behind them because I do think if they played, they would beat them all. But there's part of me that thinks they go to New York and get just smoked by the Jets because I have no idea how you're going to defend Zach Wilson.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville Week 2 Power Rankings. Roll on next, plus we'll get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, warm afternoons, comfortable cool nights. That's the recipe through the end of the work week. And then some rain showers showing up early next week in our forecast. Should be precip free here in Asheville right on through the weekend. 57 our low in the valley tonight. Sunshine Wednesday, warm. High 88 degrees. Not too far off of records for Wednesday. Then mid-80s on Thursday for the first day of fall. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Tunnel Road at Whitson Road, seeing delays both directions here. Sweeten Creek Road is moving problem-free. Hendersonville Road, no delays. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound, approaching Long Shoals Road, some delays. And again, Brevard Road northbound between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway, a few delays. Check of the drive time from Biltmore Forest to Fletcher via Hendersonville Road southbound. Drive time 17 minutes. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. Charging a cell phone can be like getting a booster shot. A booster is given to enhance or restore protection after a primary series vaccination, which wanes over time. Schedule an appointment when you are eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
This is Loyalty Lab Interview 6. Subject, grandmother's loyalty. Margie, what do you do when your grandson misbehaves?
Angels don't misbehave.
Here we study the most loyal, like you and... Oh, there goes the lamp.
Shouldn't have put it there.
Shell and the Fuel Rewards program has our members' backs, too. It's super easy to save on every gallon. Loyal, just like how you acted like that wasn't his fault.
Someone should clean that up before he gets hurt.
Yes! Loyal, just like that.
10 years of FR.com. Terms and conditions apply.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
The The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Jeremy, if you are really dead set on setting a Guinness Book of World Record, you are going to have to get on the stick here. Because
if this is the record I think it is, I will set it to where no one can ever touch it ever again.
If you were with us, I feel like it was right around this time last year.
About a year ago.
I brought you the story of the guy who set the world record for the most pub visits in a 24-hour span. Matt Ellis was his name. And he set the record by going to 51 pubs in 24 hours. He has to have a drink. What was it, 8 ounces? You have to
8-ounce pour, and it does not have to be alcoholic.
Yeah, you have to drink 8 ounces at every stop. You do not have to drink 8 ounces of alcohol at every stop. But now his record has been broken since we last talked about him. Not once, but twice. His record got broken back in February when one guy went to 56 pubs in 24-hour span. And now another English guy has now set the world record for going to 67 different pubs in a 24-hour period. So your bar hopping jaunt needs to happen soon before they put this out of your reach, buddy.
I'll put it where no one can ever attain it, and I will drink one 8-ounce domestic light at every stop.
No, you
and I
won't.
might die.
I was going to say 67 beers in 24 hours.
Little. You got to have gotta get some burgers. You got to have some carbohydrates.
I was going to say you're going to have to load up to break this record now. 64. Good for him.
That's aggressive. Somebody at Google made a boo-boo, and they have attributed it to human error. A $250,000 payment was placed in the account of a confused cyber security professional.
It's mine now.
That's what I've always said. You put it in my bank account, I cannot get in trouble for what you did. You go tell them that you gave me a bajillion dollars. Sam Curry, a staff security engineer at Yuga Labs and a self-described hacker, said on Twitter that Google sent him $249,999 into his bank account without an explanation, and he was unable to get a response from the company for 3 weeks.
Wow.
First of all, if you accidentally give me $250,000, I will make one attempt to call you and right the wrong. After that, I'm setting the pub crawl record, and we're going to have just a tremendous weekend. Jets plus 7. That's you take that to mean whatever you want to.
Until they take it back.
Yeah, if it's not there, it'd be hard to take it back.
I feel like that's pretty easy to do. All they got to do is get a judge to go, yep, you got to pay that money back.
That's simple. You can avoid it for a long time. Don't do crimes. Don't do crimes.
Don't do crimes. If it winds up in your bank account, it's not yours. It's not yours.
What are you, a cop?
So, this guy, did he spend the money? Did he finally give it back?
No, they finally got in contact, and they determined that it had been done in error. And Google did indeed contact me, and I'm going to head into the bank today to pay it back.
Just as you should. Just as you should.
Do you know how much I could do in one weekend with $250,000?
Yeah, but I feel like if you had 200, I think that's why your wife is so
Controls all the
concerned.
finances?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's why she's so concerned.
My wife gives me an allowance like a toddler.
I love the look on her face when you were like, hey, we just had a bunch of money on the Jets and the money line. And she went, oh, did we now?
Oh, yeah, that happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Oh, did we now? Because this conversation would have gone much less smoothly for you if we had lost that.
Yeah, one of my favorite conversations ever was after I hit Louisville in the money line against UCF. Totally forgot that I doubled down and put it on an app, and I went, hey, that's awesome. Keep playing on TikTok.
Keep playing on TikTok,
it's
honey.
fine.
Nothing happened.
It's fine.
Nothing
We're all
happened.
good.
Week 2 power rankings in the NFL. It's time for our next batch of 4 teams here. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
And I'm sure somebody's going to say, but they just beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. I'm well aware of that. I don't know what they will look like with Kenny Pickett. And I very rarely ever say one player that's not a quarterback changed an outcome. With T.J. Watt, you lose that game, and it's probably never close.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
It was just a big gross fest. Now, I don't love Pittsburgh. They have huge offensive line problems. I mean, categoric offensive line problems.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like the offense changes with Trubisky. Because with Kenny Pickett instead of Trubisky. Not because Kenny Pickett has a huge arm, but because he has enough of an arm that I think he can take the top off with Chase Claypool. With Mitch Trubisky, he could sit on the sideline, and I don't know that anybody would ever notice. Got to get George Pickens involved. That will lead to Najee Harris having better running lanes.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is a path to Pittsburgh being better than what we've seen.
I would agree. I don't think there's much of a path for that for the New England Patriots.
I don't either. I think you are what you are.
Right. You can play that game all you want to. Oh, they just beat them. Okay. Well, the New York Jets have beaten 4 playoff teams in the last 2 years. Explain that. Explain it.
The Jets
They've
are just,
won
they're a
6
beacon of
total
sadness.
games, and 4 of them have been against playoff contenders.
They're a real beacon of sadness, my Jets.
Right. So don't give me this we just settled it on the field thing. Washington Commanders coming in at number 25. And I'm not sure what to think of the commies just yet.
It really irritates me that you call them the commies.
Why? I told you.
You don't have to abbreviate everything.
I told you I was not going to call them anything other than that.
There's just not much. I mean, I like the offense.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is. How does Jack Del Rio still have a job?
I don't know. I do not know. This is.
I mean, in Washington, usually I would say, does he have some kind of salacious pictures about his boss? But it's Daniel Snyder, so that is a better than 0% chance.
100%. Look, I'm going to say the same thing about Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio that I said about Mike Zimmer. This is what you're supposed to do. You're the defensive guy.
Mm-hmm.
This is what your team's supposed to be good at. Your offense is not supposed to be saving your defense.
And it is.
And it is.
They've given up 4 50-plus yard plays in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard to do. That is hard to do. But I will say this. I did see some fight in the second half against Detroit, a team that I think is good and is going to be much higher on this power ranking than you think they will be. I think the offense is good enough. I cannot stop going back to the Jamin Davis thing. I know you took him in the first round. I'm well aware of that. At some point, you have to look around and go, this is not working. They don't have anybody that seems to be the real leader of that defense.
Mm-hmm.
They have nobody. This is the only team I've ever seen in all the years I've been doing this that I've looked at their linebacking core and just gone, that is such a problem. Because you have nobody that I can trust, especially against the run.
Mm-hmm. So far this season, Carson Wentz has played well.
And I think he will continue to.
But he has done it against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who you routinely bash them for being too young and out of position and not knowing what they're doing yet. And the Detroit Lions, who, they try. They try real hard on defense. So I don't know what to make of Washington.
they're going to play closer with the Eagles than you think. And we do seem to be forgetting that they beat that little darling Jaguar team that everybody's losing their minds about a week ago.
Yeah, they did.
Don't be beholden to the last thing that you have seen. I've seen Washington 27th or worst in every power ranking I've seen, and that is comical to me. Washington played New England right now. How does that go?
Washington by a field goal.
Washington scores a boatload of points.
Think so?
I can't tell you things stop Mac Jones from doing the same thing, but Washington is going to score a boatload of points.
They won't be able to shut down Terry McLaurin?
No. Oh, good Lord, no.
It's Bill Belichick. He takes away the one thing you want to do.
Yeah, he does. It's okay. I got Jahan Dotson and Curtis Samuel.
Unless that one thing you want to do is, a good player like Terry McLaurin. Washington Commanders. And then the downfall of the century.
The Indianapolis Colts.
How in the world has this happened? First 2 weeks of the season, you don't look anything like a playoff contender. Your offense is anemic. And I don't even know how to explain what I saw this past weekend with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
But the offensive line minus Quentin Nelson's a joke. You have no weapons whatsoever. If Michael Pittman's not on the field, you are the most relevant team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. No Michael Pittman.
Now, the good thing is that he's coming back. That's the reason you're not any lower than you are.
Right.
Because the team that played the Jacksonville Jaguars is the worst team in the NFL, and I'm not sure it's all that close.
No Michael Pittman. No Alec Pierce. And they were just able to bottle up Jonathan Taylor, who really didn't even get as much run as he should have.
Oh, no.
They were unable to do anything on the first two downs, and so they were behind the chains constantly. And Frank Reich
is maddening.
He's on a major hot seat right now.
There's path. There is a path, and you just remember that I said this. There is a path that this team is going to be 0-5 because they play the Chiefs, the Titans, and at the Broncos. Remember I said this.
Mm-hmm.
That Broncos game, Thursday night game. Long week till you play the Jaguars. I won't be shocked if Frank Reich's first coach fired in the NFL this year.
Wow.
You start 0-5, you have no shot, especially with lunatic Jim Irsay. If anybody's going to have a quick trigger, it will be him.
I agree. Like I said on Monday, part of me was surprised that Frank Reich was even invited to get on the plane.
It could have been like Herman Edwards. He didn't even make it off the field. Have you seen that video on Twitter?
No.
The president found him in the end zone.
Did he really?
And went, yeah, we're done here.
That's bad.
And Herm just kind of nods and goes, well, saw that coming.
Yep. That's bad, but it could get to that point. Jim Irsay not known as the most level-headed person in the world. So that could be a possibility. And then Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. Look at Russ cooking. I mean, it's shake and bake, and he would screw that up.
It's not good. The offense is weird and clunky. Good thing, you do actually have the ability to turn this around. There is a weird stretch here of teams from about 23 into the high teens. I could easily see you getting back onto the into the top half of the league.
Mm-hmm.
You could threaten for a playoff berth. It would not shock me. Because from the drop-off from 10 down is off a cliff. But Denver just looks odd. I mean, is that not how it struck you? You played against a Houston Texan team that could not move the ball to save their lives. You couldn't do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Put in advantageous positions. Doesn't matter. I said this when Russ got traded here. I don't think anything is really different from where he's coming from in Seattle. And until you prove me wrong, the three things I immediately look at: who's at home, who's your coach, and who's your quarterback. One of those three for you is a great big negative because Nathaniel Hackett has been bad through 2 games.
I think that's the reason more people aren't talking about the offense and how disjointed it's been, because you're not worried about the players and the game plan right now. You're just worried about the player, the coach and the game plan.
Having two running backs like Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon, all you have to do is not screw this up. And he has screwed this up 2 weeks in a row.
Hopefully they can turn it around. Still early in the season. You got the 49ers next, though. And that is going to be a problem. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. North Carolina Highway Patrol reporting an accident 26 eastbound at I-40. The shoulder closed. Not seeing any backups in the area at the moment. On the Smoky Park Highway, traffic is moving well. Patton Avenue, no problems. New Leicester Highway, no delays. Merriman Avenue, no backups. And Biltmore Avenue moving well. Check of the drive time from downtown Asheville to Asheville Regional Airport via 26 eastbound, drive time 28 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. Charging a cell phone can be like getting a booster shot. A booster is given to enhance or restore protection after a primary series vaccination, which wanes over time. Schedule an appointment when you are eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Hey listener, welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it!
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. The can't-miss music event of the year is finally here.
Our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Featuring once-in-a-lifetime performances from the biggest superstars.
Live from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. This Friday and Saturday night, starting at 10 p.m.
Watch on the CW app and CWTV.com. And listen on iHeartRadio.
Capital One is the proud partner of the iHeartRadio Music Festival for the 6th year in a row. Bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
I absolutely love my dog, but the constant shedding, not so much. But then I got a Swiffer Sweeper pet kit, and it is amazing. These super thick cloths pick up a crazy amount of hair. Just look at all that. And that was from just one swipe. And the best part? Sweeper's so much easier to maneuver than a broom or a vacuum, easily getting around chairs and under the couch. You're right. Now I can focus on you, not your shedding. Swiffer Sweeper pet kit. Because shed happens.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
It's ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy's Week 2 NFL Power Rankings. Number 20. It's the Tennessee Titans. Talked about the Titans in the last hour.
Until you show me an ability to have a receiver that can actually challenge you down the field, that's where you're at. I think Tennessee and Indianapolis are very close. I will say this. If I had to pick a team to win this division right now, it's the Tennessee Titans. I don't think they're the most talented team, but I trust them with vet leadership a little more.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. Jacksonville would be a close second, then Indianapolis, then the Houston Texans, because I can't believe in anything Houston Texan-y right now. Then the Arizona Cardinals. We saw some Kyler Murray magic in the comeback against the Las Vegas Raiders.
And point blank, I believe that was more of a Raider collapse than it was anything Kyler Murray did. I mean, yeah, he was, look how special he was on the two-point conversion.
Mm-hmm.
He ran around 400 yards. Just lost track of it.
But that's like where he thrives. That's his chaos. He thrives in chaos.
Yeah,
with
because
his
then the
legs.
fact that he's 4'6" allows all of the linemen to dissipate, and he's able to see over top of them.
Yes, he is.
I still don't buy any team that's coached by Cliff Kingsbury. I just don't. I think Kyler can be fine in the right system. They take on the Los Angeles Rams this week. I'll give you one guess which side of that I'm leaning on.
Mm-hmm. Now, if this one's close, will you start changing your mind a little bit about the Rams?
If this one's close, I probably will look more at Arizona than I would at the Rams.
Okay.
Then with the Rams, I get Sean McVay. I get Sean McVay, the reigning Super Bowl champions. You get a lot more platitude than the Arizona Cardinals, who have won about as much as I have.
Number 18 this week with a bullet.
With
They're
a
2-0, baby, and they could easily be 4-0 to start out this year. It's the New York Football Giants.
The change in the culture is very obvious. Very obvious in what Brian Daboll has brought. And I need you to understand, they've played 2 games where they didn't play particularly well and still won.
Mm-hmm.
That is the sign of a team that's turned a corner. The reason I'm not going to say is low, if you had any option at wide receiver, this offense would be dynamic. Take a guess how many plays Kenny Golladay played last week. How many snaps did he partake in?
12.
2.
Good.
2.
Good. Irrelevant.
What a joke of a contract that ended up being.
That's David Gettleman for you.
You've got to get Kadarius Toney involved. Sterling Shepard, Richie James. It's been a combination of pieces. I've been reasonably impressed with the defense, though.
Come out and shellac the Cowboys.
Come out and shellac the Cowboys. I'll be the biggest buyer on you in the NFL, and it won't be close.
Divisional game, prime time. Let's get it. New York Giants up to 18 with a bullet. Number 17, it's those Cleveland Browns.
You put the elf on the field, and then you just brought a Christmas present right to my doorstep and went, you have this.
Why you got to bring Brownie into it? Come on.
Because it's stupid.
It's not stupid.
It's stupid. You put a Keebler elf in the middle of your field.
It's not a Keebler elf. He's a brownie.
No, a brownie is a delicious fudgy treat that you put in your face. And the only fudgy treat that I saw from the Cleveland Browns was the last 2 minutes.
It's also a mythological little man who comes in the middle of the night and does all your chores for you.
You lost me at mythological. You're talking to a man that's never seen a Star Wars in his life.
True.
I'm not getting past mythological. The Browns have an ability. The defense has been shockingly bad. Shockingly bad. Especially getting beat over the top. Now, here's something I did not think I was going to say. There are at least 5 teams in the AFC that are not as good as I thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Cleveland's schedule, you need to hang around until he who shall not be named reappears. I think you're going to struggle even when that happens, but there's a lot of games with the Falcons and the Patriots, the Texans. They need to be about 500 when Deshaun Watson comes back. And if you manage to do that, the back of that schedule is not that daunting. But you've got to figure out that defense. Yeah. It's been Myles Garrett and a bunch of disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Their secondary is entirely too good to allow Corey Davis to just slide behind them for a 64-yard touchdown.
Yep. Who's the next team that's going to get a heavy dose of can't help it? Old Grant Delpit just out there looking lost. Man, I loved him in LSU.
And I told you are going to regret that.
You told me I was way too high on him. Like,
Grant Delpit has the eye discipline of a 4-year-old in a candy store. Whatever catches his eye is where he's going.
It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We'll be back in the Ingles Studio with the rest of the Power Rankings next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, warm afternoons, comfortable, cool nights. That's the recipe through the end of the work week. And then some rain showers showing up early next week in our forecast. Should be precip free here in Asheville right on through the weekend. 57 our low in the valley tonight. Sunshine Wednesday, warm. High 88 degrees. Not too far off of records for Wednesday. Then mid-80s on Thursday for the first day of fall. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. North Carolina Highway Patrol reporting an accident 26 eastbound at I-40. The shoulder closed. Not seeing any backups in the area at the moment. On the Smoky Park Highway, traffic is moving well. Patton Avenue, no problems. New Leicester Highway, no delays. Merriman Avenue, no backups. And Biltmore Avenue moving well. Check of the drive time from downtown Asheville to Asheville Regional Airport via 26 eastbound, drive time 28 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Don't miss the energy savings event at Lowe's. Save energy and save money on select major appliances, including Whirlpool. Selection varies by location. Exclusions apply. Visit Lowe's.com for details. Valid through 9/28.
Your burrito prayers have been answered. Taco Bell's double steak grilled cheese burrito is back with that juicy steak smothered in nacho cheese with a 3-cheese blend that's grilled on top. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. Hours and participation vary. Double the steak claim as compared to the steak quesadilla.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A mega deal for Avalanche star Nathan MacKinnon. He re-signed with the defending Stanley Cup champs. The new 8-year, nearly $101 million extension will make MacKinnon, a former #1 overall pick, the highest paid player in the NHL. Jalen Hurts showed a national audience why he's the Eagles franchise quarterback. Threw for 333 yards, ran for 57 yards, accounted for 3 total touchdowns in the 17-point win over the Vikings on Monday Night Football. And big things could be in store for Hurts and the Eagles this season, says our Keyshawn Johnson.
You look at where they're at in their schedule, they've got a cakewalk into the bye. And even after the bye, they got the Commanders, the Jaguars, the Cardinals, the Cowboys, a bye, the Steelers, and the Texans.
All right.
Come on now.
Listen.
Their schedule is set up for them to have the #1 seed in the NFC.
Keyshawn of Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Dodger icon Maury Wills, who spent 12 of 14 seasons with the team and won 3 World Series titles, has died. Wills, one of the best players of his generation, as well as one of the best base stealers of all time, was 89 years old.
Summer Bonanza means more business in the fall months. Hire right with Indeed. Their integrated solution lets you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been this easy. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We're heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. You can take us with you everywhere you go, live or on demand. The YouTube stream. It's where you really have the fun, because that's where you can get your comments commented on right here live on the program. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that gets you into the chat. It also gives you the alerts whenever we go live, like, say, for Mullet and the Dude in the morning at 9 o'clock.
9 a.m. tomorrow, uncensored sports talk with me and Mr. Brian Haynes.
Every Tuesday, got the Fantasy Football Show with armchair commentary and Jeremy.
Did that this morning, answered all your questions live, all your fantasy questions.
And, of course, the 2-hour extravaganza that is the Fantasy Game Time Decision.
We do a lot. We're like the two most overexposed people on the planet Earth.
And that's fine.
It's fine.
It's absolutely fine because it's football season and we are all in.
It's the only time I will ever say exposed and your name in the same sentence, and my skin won't crawl.
Week 2 of the NFL season is in the books, so we have the Week 3 power rankings. Continuing here with the top half of the league, we've given you 17 through 32, and at number 16 this week, it is none other than those Colt beaters, the Jacksonville Jaguars, 24-0. They did it again. Just have the Colts number.
The defense is better than I thought.
They are.
The defense is better than I thought. Now, they're still going to let you down at times.
Of course.
They're very, very young. And this is more of the progression I have seen in Trevor Lawrence. I could argue he was better Sunday than I actually thought he was. And he's the highest rated quarterback I've ever had coming out of college. He was phenomenal. The rapport with Christian Kirk is phenomenal. They haven't even really been able to get Travis Etienne involved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he has 18 touches through 2 weeks. There is a level to this team. They could be a back into the playoffs team. That is on the table. Now, you're going to have to beat teams that you're not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Because somehow, in spite of the fact that you were the worst team in the NFL last year, your schedule still looks less than ideal in many places. But the last 6 games, if they're within striking distance, they are going to be terrifying.
And it doesn't look as daunting as it once did. I mean, if we think that the Broncos are in trouble, they're on this schedule.
I think you learn a lot this week. This is one of those games. I'm not expecting you to beat the Chargers. You need to be able to play with them.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming off a long week. This has recipe of you get just your doors blown off. If you can be competitive, it will tell me a lot.
Mm-hmm. Cowboys, Jets, Texans twice. You've already taken care of the Colts once. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Trevor Lawrence and company could wind up in the playoffs. Man, what will the narrative be on Doug Peterson if that happens?
He's a genius.
He's a witch.
And I will say, Lisa in our YouTube comments pointed something out. Devin Lloyd's not getting the love, and he's been all over the place. Foye Oluokun's in the same boat. And just understand, Devin Lloyd basically did not have a preseason. He's still learning this defense, and when he does, buddy.
Lots of talent down in Jacksonville. That's what you get for being the worst team in the league.
I mean, they've accumulated a lot of talent.
And over again. Plus, they spent the most money in free agency this past offseason. And granted, you overpaid, but did you? If it relates to wins, you got to say you didn't overpay.
There's also something that has not been addressed, at least that I haven't said. You remember that old NASCAR package that the Giants had where they had 4 defensive ends?
Yep.
The Jaguars are doing that more than I would have ever thought. And it seems to be working.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not to that level, but it's difficult to script against. Because you just don't know where anybody's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's a high-level, very lightly talked about thing that I noticed. I watched a little of the All-22 this morning. And I was counting the players on the field like, wait a minute. You have 4 defensive ends on the field. Oh, well, that's new.
Now, in 2 weeks, after they get blown out by the Chargers and the Eagles, could we be back in the same boat of, yeah, this is a really bad team? Sure.
I don't think I will be. The Trevor Lawrence progression, I said in the offseason, you're going to see a huge jump from him just solely because Urban Meyer is no longer in his life. And it has happened quicker than I thought. And I'm going to make the argument of the reason is half Doug Peterson, half Christian Kirk.
If you had Jacksonville Jaguars in the top half of the league after 2 weeks of the season,
you're a witch.
You are a witch. You indeed are a witch. At number 15, it's the Minnesota Vikings. Still in that just around the playoffs area. It did not look good by any stretch of the imagination against the Philadelphia Eagles. But Kirk Cousins in primetime. I mean, look, just as much as you can say Kirk can't win in primetime, I can say, hey, this team's still pretty good. It was Kirk Cousins in primetime. Just remember that.
Which is as much of a curse as Tank Spencer picking you plus the number.
Jets +7.
You're going to learn a lot this week because this is a game that I believe is going to tell you who the second best team in the NFC North is. Because my team at 14 is the Detroit Lions.
Oh, I love it.
And I
love
know
it so much.
I can already envision but I'm going to draw a parallel. First of all, I've been saying for 2 years, when all of these things click together, that team is going to be fierce. Because Brad Holmes came in, and Dan Campbell gets a lot of the credit. I'm a scouting guy. So I'm looking at the personnel decisions. Brad Holmes has changed the culture of this team. And is this possibly a little too high? Maybe. Maybe too low. I learned my lesson last year I watched the tape. I saw something massively different with the Cincinnati Bengals. And I put my fingers in my ears and I went, la, 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 la. I can't see it. I refuse to change my mind. I already liked the Lions better than most. The way the offensive line is running plug and play, it doesn't matter who is out there. They are attacking at the second level, which takes all of the onus off of Jared Goff. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is a top 5 receiver in this league, and no one will convince me different.
He is unbelievable. 2 games, he's got 17 catches. Caught 17 of his 24 targets. It's a hell of a catch rate. 180 yards, 3 touchdowns. It just works.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't point out, because, every day we see new people in the chat, always happy to see them. The ones that have been around since the beginning can verify. If I worked in an NFL front office, Amon-Ra St. Brown would be on my team because I pounded the table that this kid was a dog. Now, you get these two teams playing each other. This is going to sound weird, but I really feel this way. I don't think Minnesota can do anything that will change my mind about Minnesota. I might come off Detroit a little bit based off what I see. Detroit may convince me that they're even better than I think they are. If they go in there and dog Minnesota, I will walk away from that more impressed than I have been with any team in a long time.
But I don't think this team is dogging anyone.
No, they just grind you out because they have 2 running backs that are really dynamic and different. And they just have a lot offensively that's going right.
Now, what I saw this past weekend with the Commanders was they were dogging them. I mean, they were just straight up dogging them.
I can't remember his first name, Skipper, the guard that Dan Campbell let go to the podium before anybody else.
Yeah.
That kid's been cut off 6 teams.
Yes.
Never actually dressed for an NFL game. Played in this one and was just annihilating linebackers down the field. What that tells me is that you have changed a culture of people come in here when they buy in. They may end up on the practice squad. They may end up being cut off this team. When they come back, the culture has not changed. Name on the back changes, name on the front doesn't. That is the difference between the New England Patriots for 25 years. Yes, they had Tom. I get that. They brought in any random guy off the bench, Kyle Van Noy, and all of a sudden he's a dynamic pass rusher that bounced around to all these other teams that played the Patriot way, but he never succeeded there. He succeeded in New England because the culture had changed. And I'm telling you, we're watching that happen in Detroit. Am I a little ahead of the curve? Maybe. But as I stated, once you get past 10, the drop off the cliff makes Wile E. Coyote nauseous.
But don't look now because the Minnesota Vikings is a big game this week. And then after that, you go Seahawks, Patriots, Cowboys. I mean, this could be like
5-1.
Yeah, this could be like a 4-2, 5-1 team.
The Detroit Lions could be 5-1, and it wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Wow. And that is why they come in at number 15 this week on the power rankings.
They're 14. Minnesota's 15.
Oh, excuse me, 14.
The thing, that, and I will say, we didn't give a whole lot of analysis to Minnesota because we did them in the first hour. Justin Jefferson. I'm going to learn a lot about him this week. You got completely taken out of this game. This is a very advantageous matchup. If you can take advantage of it.
Which you will.
Maybe. I believe in Aaron Glenn way more than you do.
Yeah. It's not that I don't believe in Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn's a future head coach in
I
this
just
league.
don't believe in their players.
I believe in the culture. Like I said, Minnesota could prove me wrong, and maybe I'm less high on Detroit a week from now. I don't think I will be.
And then
the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, well, Raiders going to Raider. That's what I felt about the end of that game. Was you got all these pieces. You got all these pieces, but in the end, Raiders going Raider. I still like them. They're going to be fine. They're going to turn it around. They'll figure it out.
They've played 8 quarters against the team we think is top 5 in the league in the LA Chargers, and a team that made the playoffs last year in the Arizona Cardinals. You have outplayed those teams in 6 of the 8 quarters. The problem is that you've had 2 catatonic quarters. That falls on McDaniels. That falls on Patrick Graham, who I've been very positive of. If this team could generate any kind of pass rush, of which when you have Chandler Jones and Max Crosby, I feel like you're going to figure that out eventually. I can't denigrate this team that much. There are a lot of new moving pieces on this team. You get the Titans this week, then you go Broncos. Yeah, there's an at the Chiefs in there. Texans, Saints, Jaguars, Colts, Broncos, Seahawks. That's a lot of wins.
Yep.
I don't care how bad they looked in the second against the Chargers and in the fourth and overtime against the Cardinals. There are a lot of wins in what I just said. I'm not jumping ship on the Raiders. This may be one of those that I die on this hill. I am not jumping ship on this Raiders team.
I'm not jumping ship on them either. But I still do have my concerns that this could snowball. You got to get in front of it, and you got to get a win. You got to go out there, and you got to get one of these gutsy, like, New York Giants type wins.
You have to go into Tennessee this week and beat them. That's I can answer that for you. You have to go into Tennessee, a team that is 0-2, as desperate for a win as any team in the NFL, and you have to beat them. And I think they will.
I think you can. I think Derek Carr bounces back with a huge week, and they'll get the job done. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We'll visit the NFC South in the next segment. Not once, but twice.
Traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Interstates are moving incident-free on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. Traffic volume is busy but moving well. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road slowing. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Pond Road, delays. Sweeten Creek Road southbound between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road, no backups. Check of the drive time from Mills River to Hendersonville via NC 191 southbound, drive time 15 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is paid for by North Carolina Governor's Highway Safety Program.
We all share the responsibility to make sure North Carolina roads are safe for everyone. We can reduce the number of people hit or killed by vehicles. Visit watchformenc.org for more safety tips.
Paid for by NCDOT.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge is back. Just log on now to ESPNAVL.com to make your picks. Each weekly winner gets a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and will be a finalist for a grand prize. Log on now, ESPNAVL.com.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumping a bag of hammers.
Back here in the Sportsocracy, and programming note, we will not be with you tomorrow. Another day Braves baseball game, so you'll hear that on ESPN Asheville. Jeremy and I are going to take the day.
I will take the afternoon.
Well,
I will
yes,
be here
you will
for
be here.
Mullet and the Dude in the morning.
Right. Mullet and the Dude, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. YouTube exclusive. It is all uncensored, so don't watch it in the car with the kids or anything like that.
Correct. Unless you want to explain some things that you don't want to explain.
Exactly. But so there will be a Mullet and the Dude in the morning. No afternoon show tomorrow afternoon because of Braves baseball. We will, of course, return with you on game day on Thursday. I don't even know who's playing on Thursday, and I really don't care.
It's not good.
I don't care. It's football.
It is, and we have we got college football. So we got the next time you see us, we'll have bangers. Let's go.
Yes.
It's Steelers and the Browns.
Oh, I'm totally good with that.
Oh,
AFC North battle. Heck yeah.
Oh.
I mean, the quarterback play is not going to be fun to watch, but everything else should be.
If I wanted to spend 60 minutes watching people try to score and fail, I would take my friends to a bar.
We're rolling through the Week 3 power rankings in the NFL. And let's take a trip down to Crescent City. The Big Easy. New Orleans Saints come in here.
I believe you're going to see a different Jameis Winston this week. What I saw last week, that's bad Jameis.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Allen's not going to stand for bad Jameis. You see bad Jameis again, you're going to see the red rifle as the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints.
Mm-hmm.
And as bad as he was, and he was horrible, they still had a shot.
They did.
They still had a shot.
The defense is good, and Tampa.
They made Tom Brady look very average.
Yes, they did. Getting under Mike Evans' skin with Marshawn Lattimore and all of that, it's the perfect. It's the perfect. You want to make the New Orleans Saints look good. Put them up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because that's been the way it's always. That's been the way it's been since Tom's been there. Lots of Buccaneer fan groups having a whole lot of fun with this Jameis Winston thing, by the way.
I'm sure they are.
Oh, yeah.
You have the most obnoxious fan base
Look how
on planet
fast
Earth.
they've turned on Jameis Winston.
I can count on one hand the number of Bucs fans I have ever met that I actually liked. And you know what they all have in common? They didn't show up when Tom did. Don't ask me if you're on that list.
I'm not gonna.
I wouldn't.
Because I don't really care one way or the other. It's fine. But they should. They should be upset that bad Jameis showed up. This was always going to be your downfall. If you can't get the offense going, and especially when there's no Alvin Kamara, he has to. Jameis Winston has to be good for this team to work. Now, with Alvin Kamara in the
it's a little
fold,
different.
it's a different story. You can lean on Alvin. You can do all of the different things, but you took him off the field, and this was bad.
Well, you have to teach Jameis eye discipline. That's always been a problem. It was a problem at Florida State. It was a real problem in Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe you will see him reined in quite a bit this week.
That eye surgery that he had, that laser surgery, I don't know that it worked all that
Well, it doesn't change when you look at a player and go, I'm throwing it to you before anybody moves.
Yeah, but even
which he did more than once.
Yeah, but even half of the throws didn't even matter because they were uncatchable. I mean, he was doing that thing where he, sails it 20 feet over their heads. That was everything that I lived through as a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan.
I lived through it as a Florida State fan. He won me a national title, and the sound of his name is still like nails on a chalkboard to me.
So at number 12, it is the New Orleans Saints. Number 11, they're 2-0 to start out the year. And their quarterback could be taking the leap that we all wanted him to see when he got the big weapon in Tyreek Hill. It's the Miami Dolphins.
And I still don't buy it.
Why?
I still don't buy it. So you can throw to a wide open receiver. Phenomenal. Let me see you in against a defense that can legitimately defend Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. People seem to forget they were getting eviscerated by the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fourth quarter happened. Great. 4 touchdowns. Awesome. Will it shock you if he comes out and goes 240 with 2 picks?
Not
That
against
shock
the
you
Buffalo
in the least.
Bills.
Oh, Buffalo's going to hammer them. I mean, hammer them.
Yeah, it's not going to be a fun week.
No.
But
I will learn more the 3 weeks directly after the Bills game.
Mm-hmm. At the Bengals, at the Jets, and then the Minnesota
At the
Vikings.
Bengals on a short week. And then you have to go to the Jets on your long week.
Mm-hmm.
You lose 3 in a row, you're exactly who I thought you were, because you're going to lose to the Bills. This is like a water ride at an amusement park. You will get beat. You may get slaughtered.
You want to see insufferable? Let them win that game.
Oh, I'll quit.
Oh, thank God he's going to be in Italy.
Oh,
yeah! Let them beat the Bills. Let's
they're
go.
not gonna.
They're not gonna.
No, they're not gonna.
They're not gonna. But if it was ever going to happen, we wouldn't have to hear about it from Brian Hall for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
because he'll be on vacation, and I like the prospects of that.
Well, here's the thing: it's going to be. It will not be pretty. It will not be pretty. I'm dipping my toe in with the Dolphins. The offense is very dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't trust Tua at all.
I do more than I did.
You always have.
I always have, and I've been waiting on a performance like that.
I said when Tua Tagovailoa came out of Alabama, he would be one of the greatest 7-on-7 players in the history of creation.
Mm-hmm.
All he did was show me what I already knew he could do. I can hit a wide open receiver. I want to see those games where the hellhounds are in your face and you're having to make tight window throws and high level decisions and things don't go well.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to get over the adversity, not just go, hey, Reek, 9. Nobody come up with him.
I want him to look respectable against the Buffalo Bills. You come out and look like Justin Fields against the Buffalo Bills, which is not out of the realm of possibility for Tua.
Not at all.
That's going to be a problem. Next up at number 10, cracking the top 10, or staying barely in the top 10, the Cincinnati Bengals. After the loss to the Dallas Cowboys, there are deep, deep problems with that offensive line.
But they're fixable. They're
How?
fixable problems. I fully believe they are fixable problems. Are you going to have to change the way you run the offense? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know when else you had to do that? Last year, when you went to the Super Bowl. Pittsburgh, T.J. Watt was a menace. I fully believe they overlooked the Cowboys because they're going up against Cooper Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a little Super Bowl hangover? Maybe. Entirely possible. I've been a Jets fan a long time. All right. I've had a lot of wins. Okay, I've had a few wins that made me as happy as the Browns win did last week. One of the jettiest things you could possibly see is the Bengals come out and beat them 45-3, and Jamar Chase has about 3 bills.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, we're not as worried about Cincinnati as we were a week ago.
No, you're not. You need to see them put it together, but we don't feel like they've done that yet because you lost to the Steelers, and we don't think much of them. And you lost to the Cowboys, who we don't think much of either.
You still have outrageous weapons. Now, you lose to my Jets, now we're going to have to talk.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have a serious, real-life talk of, did you make a deal with the devil last year? Because that's starting to be the only explanation that I have.
Right. And then it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still hanging on to a top 10 spot. Not because of anything they did on the field this week, other than get the win. I mean, obviously getting the win helps. But there was nothing to be proud of in that win.
No, but this is what, and I've seen Tom do this enough times. It starts ugly, the line's not cohesive, the injuries mount up, and what happens? You keep finding ways to win games. Now, I don't think you're going to win this week. I have a feeling that chip on his shoulder, Aaron Rodgers, has something to prove, and I do not love the way your offense has been called.
Mm-mm.
I get it. You don't have any healthy receivers. I mean, you brought in Cole Beasley.
Yeah, big day.
If I didn't know that was sarcasm, I would have judged you a lot for what you just said.
Cole Beasley.
But it's still Tom. It's still the Bucs. You can't have them any lower than that, and I'm as down on them as anybody.
Mm-hmm. And the defense. The defense is I think you're still underselling the defense, but that's just me.
I'm going to clip that you said that because you've done this against Jameis Winston and half of Dak Prescott and some of Cooper Rush. Aaron Rodgers would like a word.
I'm fine. He can't throw anyway.
I'm going to clip this, and I'm going to pray that I get to use it on Monday.
You may. You very well may. But until I see those wide receivers start catching some balls from Aaron Rodgers, he's not the part that scares me. The part that scares me is Aaron Jones.
Yeah, he can catch
and
too.
A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, he can catch too. I hope he throws for 4 bills and beats you by 79 points.
Yeah, and the way things are going.
And I will have the happiest. It will be the happiest I have ever been to come to work on Monday.
I wouldn't be shocked at all.
I have a compilation of stupid things Tank said while we did Power Rankings.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. The most important message of the day, plus the top 8 in the Week 3 Power Rankings coming up after the break.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, warm afternoons, comfortable, cool nights. That's the recipe through the end of the work week. And then some rain showers showing up early next week in our forecast. Should be precip free here in Asheville right on through the weekend. 57 our low in the valley tonight. Sunshine Wednesday, warm. High 88 degrees. Not too far off of records for Wednesday. Then mid-80s on Thursday for the first day of fall. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue near Marion. 40 westbound near NC 226 exit 86. An accident. The right lane is closed. Tunnel Road near Mountain View Road westbound. An accident does have the right lanes closed. On Sweeten Creek Road southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, traffic is slow. Hendersonville Road moving well. Near Inkle Village, Sardis Road moving from Sandhill Road to Pond Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Imagine getting to custom order your vehicle and get up to 10% off MSRP. Impossible? Not at Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Get what you want at a price you deserve. Visit us online at marioncdjr.com or in person on Worley Road in Marion. See dealer for details.
Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning, the most trusted and reviewed cleaning company in town. Take advantage of their fall sale going on now. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129 when you mention ESPN Asheville. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Millions love the premiere of Fox's Monarch, television's most anticipated new drama. And tonight, it's all new.
We are the first family of country music.
Starring Susan Sarandon, Trace Adkins, and Anna Friel.
I need you to do what has to be done.
I'll do anything to protect this family.
Critics rave. Monarch is Empire meets Nashville meets Succession.
Family above all else.
An all-new Monarch, tonight on Fox.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Back here in the Sportsocracy inside the Ingles studio. Time to give you the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
Thank you, Jeremy. Don't do crimes. Very important rule to live by. And 2 guys are in Australia are figuring that out right about now. They're on trial this week in front of the ACT Supreme Court. Because in 2020, they are charged with aggravated burglary, aggravated robbery, and damage to property. What happened was on July 7th of 2020, around 10 o'clock, they broke into this guy's house through the garage. I guess he was coming home from the store or something, and they went into the garage, confronted the man, demanded all his money, car keys, the whole lot. One of them attacked him with a machete, hit him with the machete. The guy did not die, but he hit him with the machete, took all his money, took his keys. Then they heard somebody inside the house. Well, it turns out he had a house guest that week, and the house guest was in the middle of doing something that it's a painstaking process that you really don't ever screw with. Guy was making a cheesecake. And when the two guys come into the room, one's got a machete with blood all over it because he's already hit your buddy with it. And the guy is standing in the kitchen. He grabs a knife. This all came out in court. That he grabbed the knife, stared the two guys in the face, and said, "Well, you've bleeped my cheesecake. It's on." And he did not win. He didn't win the battle. They were still able to overpower the guy and make away with a whole bunch of stuff. They stole the guy's car. They ended up finding the car down the street in the driveway of another house. The 2 dudes were still in the house who were breaking into that house, stealing all their stuff. So they were quickly arrested. Now they're on trial. But to have the Stones to go, "You guys just messed with my cheesecake, and now I'm going to hurt you."
Cheesecake is delicious, for one. 2, did the burglar steal the cheesecake?
They did not. I mean, you can't interrupt the cheesecake while it's cooking or else it's just goo. It wasn't fully formed yet.
I actually make quite a formidable cheesecake.
then you know.
I dated a girl from Philadelphia.
Right, and if somebody comes
do it
in,
the right way.
and somebody comes in and messes with your process, it's on. Game on.
Tank, you and I have lost just copious amounts of weight with PhD weight loss. A great ally in that is Beyond Meat. It's fictitious meat. I don't really know how to describe it.
Fake meat.
It tastes like a burger if you're 14 domestic lights in and you don't know what a burger tastes like. Well, they've had a bad weekend because their COO is a guy named Doug Ramsey, and he is a lifelong fan of the Arkansas Razorbacks to the point that he went to their game over the weekend with the Missouri State Bears, who are coached by former Arkansas coach Bobby Petrino.
Yes.
They almost lost. That's not the reason I'm telling this story. 53-year-old Ramsey got into a bit of a fracas in the parking lot when someone made contact with the wheel of his SUV. Mr. Ramsey then got out of his car, punched through the back windshield of the other car.
Wow.
That driver got out like, hey, what are you doing? And Mr. Ramsey pulled him in close, started punching his body, and bit the owner's nose, ripping the flesh off the tip of his nose.
Oh, jeez.
Here's how I think this went. He's in his car, and he hasn't had meat in like 10 years. And he's just behind the wheel of his car like, we almost lost to Bobby Petrino. And then somebody hit his car, and he just,
Yeah, he went full bath salts.
Somebody has to pay for my pain.
He went full bath salts. I'm going to eat your face.
He has posted $11,085 bond. That is a very specific number. And apparently what it costs for going full Mike Tyson on somebody's schnoz.
I would imagine that the creator of Beyond Meat would be,
how do you pitch that?
Some little skinny, scrawny vegetarian dude. I mean, this guy, is he ripped?
No.
To be able to punch out the back window of a car?
No, I'll put it this way. If he did it to my car, I would have gotten out and laughed. Like, listen here, little feller. Okay, you ain't no bigger than a squirrel, and you ain't that intimidating.
I was going to say, because, I mean, most of the vegetarians and vegans I know are all weaklings.
Here's all I know. If I was the CEO of, I don't know, a Burger King, Hardee's, anything that serves real meat, I would be turning this into something. I don't know what.
Problem is, half those businesses have done deals with Beyond Meat, so they can, cater to that side of the.
Here's what happens when you don't eat beef. You will try to chew someone's face off, Hannibal Lecter style.
I don't know why, but I feel like there needs to be a Chick-fil-A commercial in there somewhere.
Life comes at you fast.
Don't do crimes.
Don't do crimes.
Don't
nibble on people's noses. It's okay. That's weird. Really, no matter what context you put it in.
All right, we are to the top 8 of the Week 3 power rankings here in the Sportsocracy, and it's time for the San Francisco 49ers, because this team just got better. We don't like the way it happened,
No,
they did.
Their ceiling, I'm afraid, came down, but their floor just skyrocketed. Because I've seen Jimmy Garoppolo. I know what he does. I know how this offense runs with him. And if you look at, first of all, the division you're in, you are the second best team with Trey Lance. If the Rams continue to struggle, you might be the best team in this division. And over the next 4 weeks, you go Broncos, Rams, that is a daunting test, but it's in San Francisco where they have really struggled with you, and it's in prime time where they've also struggled with you. And then you go Panthers, Falcons. There's a possibility that this team is 5-1, and their one loss is to the Bears in a hurricane.
But that's how that will always be remembered.
Oh, no doubt.
In the moment, we all think, oh, my God, what's wrong with San Francisco?
And they played in a monsoon.
Right, and then you look back on it and go, oh, yeah, that was that weird game that look, Justin Fields and company couldn't go 0-17, so they got a win to start the season and then lost every game from there on out.
I promise you no team on this schedule is looking at Jimmy Garoppolo going, man, we feel better about playing San Francisco now.
No, I would say you feel much worse.
You have a vet quarterback that's not going to turn the ball over. And like I said, it brings your floor up exponentially. I do think it brings the ceiling down a little bit.
Yep. But were we going to see that ceiling this year?
Probably not.
That was the question. It's the question I always had. Never made sense to bail on Jimmy in the first place. Now, fate has handed you a nice hand. The Green Bay Packers at number 7. After Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, and he was still out there doing stuff. He didn't have the stats from the Sunday night game, but they took it to another level in the running game against the Chicago Bears. And if that continues, if they can do that week in and week out, this is a team that's, they're one of the 3 best teams in the NFC.
Vegas is telling you everything you need to know. They're playing Tampa Bay, the most wagered team in the NFL, because of Tom Brady. The game's in Tampa. Tampa's 1.5 point favorite. 89% of the initial money is on Green Bay.
Of course it is.
You say, of course it is. You don't understand the anomaly that is. I have not seen a number above 75 against a team with Tom Brady in years.
But how close would this game be? How close would you think this game would be if there was a Mike Evans? If Mike Evans was playing? See, all of that.
I wouldn't care. I really wouldn't care. I have Jair Alexander. Oh, but he wasn't good against Justin Jefferson. Week 1, Green Bay Packers. All right. Once is an anomaly, twice is a trend. I don't care. The Green Bay Packers are better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Am I telling you that's how the season's going to end? Nope. No, I am not. Your quarterbacks are very equivalent. If you look at every other position group other than wide receiver, they beat you. Every one. Not that hard to figure out. I trust Green Bay. Now, are they going to get over the hump? I have no idea. That's why they're at 7 and not 4. Because there is a trend of, you wind up winning the division by 4 games and you lose in the playoffs.
Right.
But I have no fear of Green Bay.
I feel like that's such a small line because of the state the Buccaneers are in right now. Suspended Mike Williams. Godwin's hurt. I still haven't been able to confirm it. Somebody said in the comments earlier that Akeem Hicks was going to be out for a month. I haven't seen that officially reported.
He ripped or did something to the plantar fascia.
Great. Just what you need. More injuries. It's a banged-up team that doesn't look like they have all their stuff together in the first couple of weeks of the season. I'm not surprised that the line is that low.
As a gambler, I am.
Yeah.
That's very telling.
Yeah. Green Bay, they're going to be fine. We said it at the beginning of at the start of the season. Do we like the weapons? No, not necessarily, but it's still Aaron Rodgers, and they're going to win a lot of regular season games. The Los Angeles Chargers are number 6.
I cannot figure out what to do with this team. This is one of 5 teams in the NFL that I feel like I do not have a great grasp on. Because their offense is really infuriating to me. And I'm going to chalk it up to, all right, Keenan Allen banged up, which he tends to be a lot. The play call is just really confusing. I mean, against Kansas City, they could do nothing but heave it up to Mike Williams and just watch him go get it. Give him a little platitude. Think they'll figure it out. And this team is so talented. They're so talented. At some point, you have to figure it out.
Yes. Or we're going to have deep-seated questions about you.
Oh, Brandon Staley's coaching for his job. I mean, nobody's going to talk about that. I got news for you. You missed the playoffs this year. Enjoy your next job as the new defensive coordinator of the Arizona Cardinals.
But you got the Jaguars next. You get the Texans after that.
Is Jaguars Chargers one of the 3 most entertaining games of this weekend? Because I can make the argument it's the most entertaining game of the weekend.
It's got the possibility. It absolutely
I
has the
agree.
possibility. But Jaguars at Texans, at the Browns, Broncos, Seahawks, Falcons.
Yeah, that's a lot of time to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's why they're still at 6, because I do have to take those things into account of, well, you could lose 2 games and then win 5 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And after you start 6-2, it makes me look like a big old dum-dum if I pushed you into the teens.
Exactly. At number 5, it's the Baltimore Ravens.
RELAX.
I don't know what that was.
If you take away 1 quarter, they have absolutely dominated the other 7.
Yes. I don't know what that was in the fourth quarter, but that's a burn the tape.
Oh, no doubt.
Burn it, move on, let's go, because we had this thing in the bag. It was in control. Did we take our foot off the gas? Maybe as a group, collectively, we did.
Burn it, bury it alive in a hole.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Hamilton, you're going to have to figure out your place. Still not sure that place is not as an off-ball linebacker, and that's why Chuck Clark's still on this team.
Where's Lamar in the MVP hunt right now? I mean, I get
it's Josh Allen.
I get it's Josh Allen and then everybody else, but Lamar's got to be second.
3 greatest quarterbacks of our generation: Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen. I mean, Lamar would be up there. He's been special, and he's throwing the ball much better considering the weapons are not great.
Mm-hmm.
Getting Baltimore, you need to get healthy. All right, Ronnie Stanley needs to be back. You need a living, breathing running back because you've managed to win. You managed to go 1-1 without one of those.
Mm-hmm.
The ghosts of Mike Davis and Kenyon Drake are not starting running backs in the NFL.
No.
Get J.K. Dobbins back. I think all will be fine.
Absolutely. It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Top 4 after the break.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street, Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slow between the 26-240 split, Malfunction Junction, and the Smoky Park Highway. Tunnel Road westbound near Mountain View Road, an accident. 2 right lanes are blocked. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road, moving from Sandhill Road to Pond Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Recycle your old technology free during Staples Free Tech Take Back. Items like old modems, mice, and mobile phones or cables, calculators, and camcorders. Staples Rewards members get $5 back in rewards. Exclusions apply. Limit 1 reward per month. Visit staples.com/recycling. Recycle at Staples.
The can't-miss music event of the year is finally here.
Our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Featuring once-in-a-lifetime performances from the biggest superstars.
Live from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas this Friday and Saturday night, starting at 10 p.m.
Watch on the CW app and CWTV.com and listen on iHeartRadio.
Capital One is the proud partner of the iHeartRadio Music Festival for the 6th year in a row, bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Week 3 power rankings in the Sportsocracy. Don't forget to check us out at thesportsocracy.com and click on that live video link so you can subscribe to the channel, be here front and center, or be on YouTube front and center tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for Mullet and the Dude, as Jeremy and our good friend Brian Haynes, the last need that we needed, will be
insufferable, I'm sure, Giants fan.
Oh gosh, it's gonna be.
I'm looking greatly forward to it.
Yes, he is gonna be living in a van down by the river tomorrow at some point. Old football Farley himself. At number 4, it's the LA Rams. Now I am concerned. This is one team that in the top, like I'm starting to become concerned.
About what exactly?
I just don't know. I mean, there's obviously nothing wrong with Cooper Kupp. We know that.
Nope.
I guess maybe the defense. I don't really know what it is that has got. I mean, the running game obviously is not working, and it wasn't the star last year either. But I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm shocker of shockers, overreaction Spencer here. You got dusted by the Bills, which everybody will, but I thought you were much closer than a 3-point underdog. And then the Atlanta Falcons, you allowed them to come back and make it a game.
It was 28-10.
Mm-hmm.
It was 28-10. Mm-hmm. It was actually 28-3 at one point. You took your foot off the gas. RELAX.
I mean, you got to give credit to the Falcons for coming back in the game.
I don't have to do anything but pay taxes and die.
But the Los Angeles Rams, I mean, they're still star-studded. I mean, hell, they're at 4 in the power rankings. I have no problem with that. I'm just looking at this going, if there's a team that falls out of this top 10, it could be the Rams.
There's another one that I'm gonna be sure to pin that one for later.
Okay.
If there's a team that could fall out of the top 10, it's the team that still ends up going 13-4. I have no worries.
You think that's what's happening?
I have no worries. Frankly, I'm just waiting on Odell Beckham Jr. to get healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And, hey, y'all watch this. I go from Van Jefferson to Allen Robinson. I think that's going to work.
Not worried about the offensive line keeping Matt Stafford healthy?
Nope.
None of that?
Nope.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. At number 3, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. I actually have them at 2 in my power rankings this week, and I feel like that's gross. But this is a damn good team.
Their high side is very, very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Jalen Hurts, you have to play off what happened last night. You got a lot of breaks, but that can certainly roll downhill. I really like this team,
yep.
and the play caller who's I can't pronounce his name. The offensive coordinator that's calling plays now because Sirianni tapped.
Oh, yeah. It's not coming to me.
It's Steichen or something like that.
Something like
I know it's a very odd name. He's a dude. And he showed it last night. He showed last night that when he's calling the plays, he's got a better – he has a better disposition as a play caller than Nick Sirianni does.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the sky's the limit for the Eagles.
All right, the Kansas City Chiefs, they're number 2 this week. 2-0. I mean, you won the tough game against the Chargers. Boat race the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, this offense has not really changed all that much without Tyreek Hill.
If it wasn't for the Buffalo Bills, the Chiefs would be the talk of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it is mind-boggling how you can lose Tyreek Hill, and I'm not sure that the offense isn't better. Because you have no idea where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Travis Kelce, that's always the guy. Watch for Isaiah Pacheco to get more comfortable as the season goes on, and they'll realize, oh, yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is terrible at football. We should not play him ever for any reason.
Ever. Have you been impressed with Juju and his role in the offense?
I think as he rounds into form, it will be. I think he was a quality addition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I look up and down the roster and go, there are a lot of talented players on this team. And that offensive line is phenomenal.
And that brings us to number 1.
Let's go, Buffalo. Hey.
The Buffalo
by
Bills.
a lot.
The Buffalo Bills, yeah, they look unstoppable right now. And we started the program saying we don't know who's going to beat them because they can bring everything. They bring the hellhounds. Their coverage is good and is going to be better when Tre'Davious White comes back. The running game still struggles, but it doesn't really matter when Josh Allen is hitting Stephon Diggs like he is.
Anything can happen on any given day. The only team in the NFL that can consistently beat the Buffalo Bills is the Buffalo Bills. You can throw that, oh, they're cursed, talk at me. That's fine. This is the favorite. Come at the king, you best not miss. And nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
We will return with you on Thursday. Braves baseball tomorrow afternoon on ESPN Asheville. Don't forget, Mullet and the Dude tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. YouTube only.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, warm afternoons, comfortable, cool nights. That's the recipe through the end of the work week. And then some rain showers showing up early next week in our forecast. Should be precip free here in Asheville right on through the weekend. 57 our low in the valley tonight. Sunshine Wednesday, warm. High 88 degrees. Not too far off of records for Wednesday. Then mid-80s on Thursday for the first day of fall. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Lane delays 40 westbound between the 26-240 split Malfunction Junction and the Smoky Park Highway. Tunnel Road westbound near Mountain View Road. An accident. 2 right lanes are closed. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road moving from Sandhill Road to Pond Road. Traffic is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound, light delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Summer is winding down, but business needs keep ramping up. Check out Indeed, the all-in-one hiring solution that helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge is back. Just log on now to ESPNAVL.com to make your picks. Each weekly winner gets a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and will be a finalist for our grand prize. Log on now, ESPNAVL.com.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.